Please put your hands together for Devendra Fadnavis, your host for the evening.
Good evening and namaste. It is my honor and privilege to welcome each one of you to AU Small Finance Bank presents Badlaav Humse in association with Network 18. I'm Devendra Fadnavis, your host for this evening. India, they say, is a land of many languages, and our country offers great diversity like no other. The country has channeled its cultural diversity into a brand new shared future. And while there are several factors and leaders to be credited for that, there are also many change makers who've pushed the boundaries of possibilities in our Indian society. They say bringing about change requires an idea, an intent, but most importantly, it requires courage and perseverance. There are everyday heroes who are present among us who have turned their ideas into impact. And these ideas have worked for the greater good of mankind and for society at large. Today, we bring to you 25 such change makers from across the country because we believe that it is extremely important to highlight and recognize the work that has been done by most of these unsung heroes. And today, at this grand event, we will thank them, we will celebrate them, but most importantly, we will felicitate them, these unsung change makers of India who have been charting a new course towards impactful humanitarian work. Also joining us today are eminent personalities, advocates of change from different walks of life, from the government, the entertainment space, civil society, for some insightful chats, conversations, debates, but most importantly, to thank and felicitate our change makers. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to be inspired. Kyunki Badlaav Humse hai.
From icy mountains to blue shores, from the urban sprawl to the bountiful hinterland, India is brimming with change makers. People who give themselves over to their dreams, creating a better India and uplifting society, and proclaim in one voice, Badlaav Humse hai. This year, the Badlaav Humse champions have gone above and beyond to spark change that has transformed landscapes and lives.
These are stories of grit and determination, of unwavering dedication and extraordinary journeys.
Bringing the healing touch to far-flung areas and nourishing the vulnerable. Because strength sees no age and no gender. All it needs is an outlet.
The power to bring about change resides in all of us, irrespective of circumstances.
Under all pain is a vast, immovable power.
Every individual can be a catalyst for change,
waiting to burst forth.
When we change the way we look at a problem, very often we find a solution.
All it takes is for someone to see beyond grim reality with eyes of hope. To see the land for what it could be.
Every small gesture for nature creates ripples of change.
To spot beauty in waste. To reuse and recycle. Because Mother Earth needs all the help she can get.
The world is full of wonderfully creative and innovative people who have the passion for change.
As do the most vulnerable in society. Because a home is a fundamental need. Even if you walk on four legs. No one rises alone. You need a friendly word, a helping hand. Because disability is just a label meant to be erased. And dreams belong to everyone. Whether you're on a sports ground, in a lab, or the classroom, the world is waiting for you to fill it with your song. Because you can't wait for change, and change waits for no one. AU Small Finance Bank presents Badlaav Humse in association with Network 18.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a small sneak peek of what you can expect right through the evening, some of the amazing stories that we are recognizing today. On that note, it's also my cue to kickstart the proceedings of what we've gathered here today for. I would now like to invite on stage Mr. Anand Narasimhan, Managing Editor, Special Projects, Network 18. I would also now take this opportunity to invite two very special guests. We have the honor and the great privilege to have with us the Commissioner of PNC, Mr. Iqbal Singh Chahal. We also have in-house our very own Badlaav Humse campaign ambassador, Ms. Gulpanag. Huge round of applause, please.
Well, namaste, Jai Hind, everybody. Badlaav Humse hai, be the change. It works, perhaps percolates, and two people who perhaps identify, exemplify, and communicate it with every ounce of their work are sitting with us right now. Iqbal Chahal ji, thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
And Gulpanag, she's the brand ambassador, but she's one of those people who says, I want to do things and I want to change things, so she just goes out there and does it. So she actually epitomizes Badlaav Humse. So lovely to see you again and to speak with you again. We meet at all platforms where we are advocating change. Change for a better earth, better people, better humanity. But Iqbal Singh Chahal ji, मैं सबसे पहले आपसे जानना चाहता हूँ, and I want to ask you this. Mumbai, to change Mumbai itself is a gargantuan ask. But Mumbai also has Mumbaikars who are ready to step up and help. You ask them and they will do it for you. Have you seen that happen with you as BMC
I see them happen every day. First of all, I must thank you for inviting me today. I'm grateful to you for that. And I would like to say good evening to all distinguished guests who are present here today. I see our citizens participating, helping, cooperating, and chipping in every day. And I have said so many times that our success in COVID was only because of people's participation and great help from citizens. And I always quote one example that how citizens in Mumbai are different from the other citizens in many other cities, maybe northern India, where you come from. The best example is that in 21 Diwali, there was a ban on firecrackers done by the government of Delhi. And when I went to my government, they were not very inclined to impose a ban on firecrackers for Diwali. So I just made a video and made it viral that I request you to abstain from busting crackers because of COVID issues and plus pollution issues. So on the day of Diwali, things went out very well, and against ban in Delhi, for 3 days continuously, in the entire NCR, it was a smoke screen, despite the ban. Whereas in Mumbai, one of the chief editors of a very prominent newspaper, he sent me WhatsApp message which we have stored even today. He said, sir, last evening, Mumbai 476 square kilometers of area was like a classroom with exam happening and pin drop silence. So this is how Mumbai citizens are different from others. Without a ban, they just listen to an appeal, where other cities, even the ban couldn't work. That is, I always say that our success in COVID was because of tremendous cooperation which came from citizens. Any appeal you make to them, and they would immediately reciprocate.
See, you've got 2 lakh crore plus worth of infrastructure projects and betterment projects. You're working towards zero pothole Mumbai. There's this phenomenal park that's come in at Mumbai Central. There is a whole list of things. How much of public participation happens in these initiatives? Especially something that's being driven by the government.
You know, in a democratic setup, it is very important to have the majority with you. Otherwise, you can't push projects like you can do in communist countries. Here, every project has to go through a social impact assessment, a public hearing, things like that. And you see, talking about our BMC, it is like any other municipality which exists in almost every city of the country, depending upon whether it's Class A or Class B, Class C. And although BMC came up 150 years ago, we celebrated 150 years of its existence on 4th of September 23. And what are the functions of a municipality? It is to provide civic amenities like water supply, clean roads, pick up garbage, do some flood control, things like that. And this is exactly which BMC was doing till 2020. And I'm happy to say that today, not only those functions are carrying on, but our work orders for development of infrastructure in Mumbai are more than 2 lakh crores, which includes south tip to north tip Mumbai coastal road, 55,000 crore rupees, all work orders issued, and the first leg, 14,000 crore from Marine Drive to Worli connector, the right-hand side, will be inaugurated day after tomorrow.
Wow, fantastic.
And then this is going to, in 4 years' time, you can zip through Kaf Parade to Mira Bhayandar, the northern tip of Mumbai, on an 8-lane cement concrete coastal highway on the sea. Then recently we started Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link. Then we are building the world's largest wastewater treatment plants for 33,000 crore rupees, almost more than $4 billion. And that Mumbai consumes humongous 4,000 million liters of water per day. And we're going to recycle this entire water back to potable.
But how much of this you're seeing public participation? Do you have people coming up and saying, I want to help?
All these projects, when they took off, we had public hearings, we had people's participation, we had elected body who represent the citizens. They were all taken on board, and without their support, this was not possible.
Mumbai Kaf Parade to Mira Bhayandar, 8-lane expressway in 4 to 5 years is what he's saying. Mumbaikars, please make a note of this, because I would love to see that day. It's a dream. Now, if he's making the impossible possible, fantastic. How many people have asked you, Kul, please help me. I want to do this, but I don't know how to go about it.
I think it happens in various degrees across various interests. And it's my privilege and I would say honor to be able to be in a position to be able to help people, whether it's girls coming up to me and saying, tell us how to go about getting a flying license, or how do you ride a bike. It could be something as basic as that to something bigger, such as, can you help me with access to university or access to a school. So I think those of us who have the opportunity to be able to have a platform, to be able to give back, must choose to use it.
Are you able to see the difference between somebody approaching something with what's in it for me, vis-a-vis somebody coming to you saying, I want to make things better? There are two different attitudes.
I think there's always going to be a bit of what's in it for me. And eventually, collectively, it's all for us. I remember a very interesting incident visiting a I was in Germany for some work, and I went to a public toilet at a metro station. They're called undergrounds, or I don't know the exact name. Every country has metro tube. And this lady used the washroom, came out, washed her hands, took a paper towel and wiped the basin. And I was just amazed, and I said, why did you do that? She said, because it's ours. Our tax money has built this toilet, and it's our responsibility to keep it clean. So it's, what's in it for her? A clean toilet. It's also in for the person who visits after her. So I think when we think of ourselves as a collective, that what's in it for me is automatically addressed. And then how can I help to make it better for all of us is a synergy.
When I said what's in it for me is from the idea of profiting from it, or making some money out of it, and trying to get into a business which looks socially empowering or good, but it's about trying to see how best I can make some money. And others who said about to say they just want to engineer change. They just want to go out and do things because nobody else is doing it, so let me just do it. You've seen both sides of people, both sets of people. So how do you separate this?
I think ultimately you have to judge for the people for their end and not for the means. So if it's a means for them to profit, but in the process of doing so, they are delivering social change, I would be a champion for a person like that. And if a person was delivering social change for the sake of delivering social change with no intent for personal profit, I would still champion them, because I think it's the end that eventually matters, while of course means are important, and that's why there has been this incredible thrust towards social entrepreneurship by none other than the Honorable Prime Minister, empowering people to not just empower themselves, but also empower communities in doing so. So I don't think there's anything wrong in seeking profit at all. You know, economies run on that. And I don't think we should shy away from that. And we are a country, we are looking to go into the world as a developed nation, Viksit Bharat, and we should not be shying away from seeking profit. Having said that, if seeking profit can be married to the goal of greater good, of social empowerment, of uplifting people, then that's even better.
Even better. Let me ask you, with respect to Mumbai, how easy or difficult is it? Is there something that you would like to achieve with Mumbai and Mumbaikars, and you need people to help, where you can use this platform to say, ye aap mere saath kar do yaar, kar lenge.
Maybe if I may jump in now,
Yeah,
another appeal, because clearly your appeals have had an incredible impact in the past, sir.
You know, for example, we run more than 1,200 schools in Mumbai with 300,000 children. And we requested our citizens and NGOs and corporate houses to chip in the best possible way they can. So you'll be surprised that such a great response came that some citizens who were like Wharton graduates, they came forward. They said, okay, we'll teach English in BMC schools to teachers. We train the teachers. Wow. There's another NGO on mental health which on a Zoom has trained thousands of teachers from mental health point of view. So now they have become master trainers, and they train the students and other teachers who are there. So all this effort is happening automatically with the help of our citizens and the institutions run by them, the NGOs run by them, and ultimately 3 lakh students are beneficiaries. So this is a good example as to how, on a simple appeal, they come forward and they love to do it.
So is there one thing जहाँ आपको लगता है ये भी बदल जाए, ये भी मुंबई में बदल जाए तो सही में अभी करना चाहिए, please ये कर दो.
You know, like I would say that now we are running this deep clean drive. I think we're the first city in the world which started this, and all the credit goes to our Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Shri Eknath Shinde, that he said, Chahal, just making our main roads like Marine Drive or a main highways clean doesn't mean the city is clean. Unless the lanes and by-lanes or slums are equally clean, only then we can proudly claim that Mumbai is a clean city. And you will be happy to know that for the last 14 Saturdays, we, including Honorable Chief Minister, myself, we wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. Wow. And by 6 a.m. we are into the slums, and we are there with 10,000 people. 10,000 people. And from 6 a.m. to 1:32 p.m., we first brush these footpaths and narrow lanes and bylanes of slums and narrow roads, and then we broom it, and then we use high-speed jets to wash them. And in the last 14 weeks, this has been a campaign which is uninterrupted. And now I appeal to the people that, look, this is just not BMC's or a government's campaign. Every citizen must join this campaign, and you must keep, once we clean something, you must keep it clean. And the response is growing so much that maybe in the last Saturday, I must have met 100,000 people at 5 locations.
Lovely.
Who came forward.
Fabulous. Fabulous. So let this 100,000 become 1 million, and more importantly, once they pitch in to clean, deep clean a particular street, lane, a basti, let's hope the denizens there leave it clean.
I can't imagine that last Saturday, Honorable CM had to go to Baramati, so I went alone. But I can't imagine that a bureaucrat going to slums and you meet 100,000 people in a day. It is only because of this campaign. And people also like this campaign because nobody wants to keep their area unclean. Everybody wants that their home, their neighborhood, their road, their footpath has to be clean. So I am sure this is going to develop now. And I've told people that, no, look, this is not going to be just a photo op. It is going to be going forever now. And the kind of response which has come from all quarters, every stakeholder, it is absolutely mind-boggling.
So pitch in, kyunki Badlaav Humse hai. That's what Iqbal Chahal ji is saying. So let's all take this movement forward, and we'll try and help you amplify this whatever we can, however best we can. Final question to you, Gulpanag. One change maker, one person who left a lasting impression. कि अगर ये कर सकता है, ये कर सकती है, तो मैं भी.
You're asking somebody who's been the sutradhar of these 25 stories, which we will be, seeing today,
Yes.
and honoring these wonderful people. I don't think it would be fair अगर मैं आज इन
ये 25 तो
25
inspiration
असाधारण लोगों के बीच में से अगर मैं एक व्यक्ति को चूज करूं, शायद वो मेरे लिए नाइंसाफी होगी. पर अगर मैं एक किसी व्यक्ति के बारे में बात करना चाहती हूँ, वो है सोनम वांगचुक. उनको मैं पर्सनली भी जानती हूँ, जानने का मौका मिला. एंड आई थिंक जो वो कर रहे हैं लद्दाख के लिए, मैं मानती हूँ कि उन्होंने साबित करके दिखाया है, विज्ञान को यूज करके, साइंस को यूज करके, कि किस तरीके से हम क्लाइमेट चेंज को एड्रेस कर सकते हैं, उसे सेंटर स्टेज ला सकते हैं. उन्होंने पिरामिड्स बनाए हैं स्नो के, जो जून तक रहते हैं, पानी और इरिगेशन की. आइस स्तूपास, एग्जैक्टली, जो इरिगेशन के लिए हेल्प करते हैं. क्योंकि फ्रंटियर रीजन्स में क्लाइमेट चेंज का इम्पैक्ट कहीं ज्यादा होता है. आई मीन वी फील लिटिल हॉटर इन मुंबई, तो हम थोड़ा एसी और यूज कर लेते हैं, दिल्ली में यूज कर लेते हैं. पर जहां फ्लैश फ्लड्स होते हैं, जहां अनसीजनल रेन होती है, वहां पर जो इम्पैक्ट है, जो देखी हमने हाहाकार जो हिमाचल में हुई पिछले साल, all that is the result of climate change. And I think climate change is real. We all have to actively fight it. Just like deep cleaning, as Sir said, it is our responsibility. And I think he is a beacon who has showed it's possible, and he is so inspiring. Not only that, I know we're out of time. उन्होंने ये भी साबित करके दिखा दिया है कि ले के -25-30 डिग्री टेम्परेचर्स के बावजूद आप अगर इंडिजिनस टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके घर बनाएं और इंसुलेट करके बनाएं, तो घर आपके गर्म रहते हैं. तो हमारी ट्रेडिशंस में, हेरिटेज में बहुत से ऐसा विज्ञान छिपा हुआ है जो हमें खींच के बाहर लाना चाहिए आगे बढ़ते वक्त.
Well, his work and research helped our soldiers also. When the standoff was happening in that region, he helped our soldiers stay warm with these kind of homes that he did. So big shout out to people like Sonam Wangchuk and many more जिनकी वजह से बदलाव हो रहा है. But all of us, please, the message is that we all can be the change, क्योंकि बदलाव हमसे है. Thank you so much, Iqbal Chahal ji and Gulpanag. Lovely conversation. But I'm going to request you to please stay back, because it's time to honor those who really are the change makers. Please stay.
Thank you, Anand, for moderating that session. What a fascinating and insightful session. Let's have a huge round of applause for Mr. Chahal and Gulpanag. But I'll request all of you to stay back on stage with us, because, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally that moment. It is now time to honor our first set of change makers who've inspired us by turning their ideas to impact. So let's get it rolling. Let's bring out the first story. Dr. Radhasham Garg and Mayuri School in Rajasthan. Let's take a look at their inspiring story.
मयूरी का जन्म अक्टूबर 1986 में हुआ था। जब पता लगा कि ये बच्ची फिजिकली, मेंटली, मल्टीपल डिसेबिलिटी से ग्रसित है, हम इसको रिहेबिलिटेशन के लिए हैदराबाद में भर्ती रखा। उसके बाद हमें वहाँ से प्रेरणा मिली थी कि हमें एक स्पेशल स्कूल खोलना चाहिए। पहले 5 बच्चे थे, धीरे धीरे करीब 10, 15, 20, 25 मानसिक रूप से पीड़ित, और जो बच्चे सुनते नहीं, बोलते नहीं, वो भी बच्चे हमारे विद्यालय में आते हैं। वोकेशनल ट्रेनर और फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट, ये भी हमने इनका अवेलेबल कराई और वो भी आज इनको सिखा रहे हैं। रिसेंटली हमने मयूरी पंक्ति नाम से एक इंस्टीट्यूट खोली है। उसमें सिलाई की मशीन रखी है, वो थैले बनाना या पैकेट बनाना, इस तरह के छोटे छोटे से काम हैं, उनको हम सिखाते हैं। तो हमारे 1-2 बच्चे तो सरकारी नौकरी में लगे हैं, तो वो बच्चे ट्रेंड हैं और घर में अपना कुछ इकोनॉमिक बेसिस बन गए।
हमारा फ्यूचर विजन है कि स्पोर्ट्स एंड गेम्स में बच्चों को पैरालंपिक के लिए तैयार किया जाए।
खुद मेरे परिवार में ऐसी समस्या है, तो हमारे मन में विचार आता है कि इन आत्माओं के लिए कुछ न कुछ किया जाए।
What an inspiring story. Let's give a huge round of applause for Dr. Garg and his team and the exceptional work that he has been doing. Would invite Dr. to join us on stage. Please, sir. Exceptional work there being done by Dr. Garg and his team. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time and making it for this event. And thank you for doing all the work that you and your team have been doing. Next up is the story of Cuddles Foundation that shows us how a small game-changing idea can impact the lives of thousands of people. Let's take a look at their inspiring story.
My husband used to pledge a part of our salary for children with cancer for their treatment at the Tata Memorial Hospital. I saw a mother with a baby in her lap. That was really the moment of epiphany when it struck me that there are some people who are in hospitals with sick children, children with cancer. That is the moment when Cuddles Foundation was formed. The reason we exist is just one. We say that if a child has come to treatment, then the child shouldn't get left behind because the child is malnourished. From a one-person initiative, today it has grown to almost, we have a team of 100 people. We chase social good instead of profits. In the next 5 years, we want to be able to reach out to 80% of children in the country who are fighting cancer.
Exceptional work there being done by the Cuddles Foundation. I would now like to invite on stage Purnota Datta to please come up on stage and join us. Huge round of applause. These are change makers working with an idea and intent and for the greater good of mankind and society at large. Our next story is that of the Young Tinker Academy, and this comes in from Odisha, which reaffirms how education transcends into boundaries of a classroom. Let's take a look at their story.
In our education system, we don't have any connection with the education. Young Tinker जो है वो एक आइडिया है कि कैसे बच्चों को इनोवेटर्स और एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हम स्कूल में ही बना सकते हैं. बच्चे जो थे हमारे हर बैकग्राउंड से बच्चे थे. बच्चे शहरों से भी थे, बच्चे ऐसे गांव से थे जिस गांव में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है, बच्चे ऑर्फनेजेस से थे आइलैंड विलेजेस से थे. कंप्लीट करिकुलम होता है, ये 4 फेजेस में होता है. पहला फेज है टिंकर, दूसरा है मेकर, तीसरा है इनोवेटर और चौथा है एंटरप्रेन्योर. टिंकर फेज में बच्चा अपने शहर, अपने गांव, इसकी अवेयरनेस वो पाता है और अपने बारे में भी जानता है. सेकेंड फेज होता है मेकर फेज. मेकर फेज बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है क्योंकि यहाँ पे बच्चा स्किल्स सीखने की बात करता है. थर्ड फेज आता है हमारा इनोवेटर फेज, जहाँ पे बच्चे ने अभी जो भी स्किल सीखा है इससे मैं कैसे रियल लाइफ प्रॉब्लम्स का एक सोल्यूशन निकाल सकता हूँ, इनोवेटर फेज में सीखता हूँ. और चौथा फेज है एंटरप्रेन्योर फेज, कि मैं कैसे बिजनेसेस बना सकता हूँ. हमारी जो टिंकर प्रोग्राम होती है उसमें बच्चा पूरा गांव बनाता है. When we created this team who represented India at the NASA Rover Challenge, it was a really big hit. Now students could believe that यदि वो लोग जा सकते हैं तो मैं भी जा सकता हूँ.
Please extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Anil Pradhan for the stellar work that he and his team has been doing. Huge round of applause, please. Our next story comes from Bengaluru and it features Cooper. It shows us how everyone matters, including animals who have the right to live with dignity on our planet. Let's take a look at their story.
Everywhere that you turn, you see animal cruelty. I think our whole role is to question what can we do to make their lives better. We decided to build an ecosystem wherein all animals feel safe and protected. The trust was registered in 1991. It was purely rescue, protection, welfare. We are on the streets with ambulance cases, picking up animals, sterilizing community cats and dogs, giving counseling for cruelty cases. So in Cuba, we do not compromise on medical care or treatment, and anything that is needed by the animals for its best recovery, the centers have all upgraded machinery. We are also looking at a very challenging time ahead. The sustainability is only human kindness.
I would now like to invite on stage Dr. Sheila Rao to come and receive the honors. Please, ma'am. to you and the entire team for the stellar work that you've all been doing. Our next story. From the national capital comes the story of Chintan Foundation that is promoting sustainable and equitable growth for every member of this society. Let's take a look at their story.
I was always very curious कि ये लोग कौन होते हैं जो थैले लेके चलते हैं. These were waste pickers. I understood the world of waste and of waste pickers. We are trying to find solutions which are sustainable, solutions which create livelihoods, solutions that put women at the center of our solutions. We have specially pulled out girls to have 60 to 67% girls in every learning center so that the next generation has a fair and an empowered representation from women. Chintan handles more than 40 tons of waste every day through segregation, doorstep collection, recycling. We actually train women to run their enterprises. We give them technical training. We give them updates. हमने महिलाओं को फार्मर्स के द्वारा एक पार्टनरशिप किया और ट्रेनिंग दी कि आप गमलों में ऐसी हरी सब्जियां उगाइए जो बहुत पौष्टिक हों, जैसे कि पालक, फिर उनको खाइए. We hope that our work continues to have high impact on the ground.
I would now like to invite on stage Bharti Chaturvedi to come and receive the honors. Huge round of applause, please. Round of applause for all the exceptional work that the team has been putting out. And our last story for this round of felicitations comes from the state of West Bengal. This is the story of Swachhta Pukare. Let's take a look.
While cleaning the river, we found that it is getting polluted with water hyacinth. The dissolved oxygen level deteriorates very fast. The aquatic life goes away. मैं environmental engineer था और मेरा environment में काफी passion भी था. तो इसमें ये water का भी हिस्सा है, water hyacinth का initiative. So the process starts from the extraction of water hyacinth from the water body. अगर धागा बनाना है तो उसी समय हमको प्रोसेस करना पड़ता है, उसको डिकॉर्टिकेट करना पड़ता है. हमारे स्वच्छता पुकारे के मेन पिलर में से एक है कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट. तो लाइवलीहुड और इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस के लिए ये बहुत बढ़िया प्रोजेक्ट रहा है. स्वच्छता पुकारे जब हम लोगों ने शुरू किया था तो इट स्टार्टेड विद जस्ट 5 मेंबर्स.
Now like to invite Gaurav Anand on stage to receive the honors. Huge round of applause, please.
Just 30 seconds, yes.
I was saying that we've got plenty of the raw material for them. We are taking out all this hyacinths, we call it jalparni in Marathi, so they can take away free from us.
Definitely, sir. We'll be here very soon.
Yeah.
You'll be here. Yeah. The thing is, they have to take it in real time. So when you, so they need.
Call me tomorrow and tomorrow only will do it.
So he's saying, call me tomorrow. Let's do it right now. Badlaav Humse hai. Let's do it right now. Fantastic work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry, Ridhima.
Huge round of applause for all our change makers. I would also like to thank Chair Sir and Gul. We'll request you to please join us. Anand, I'll request you to please stay back on the stage with us.
Sorry, I'm jumping in. Can we have a big round of applause for the first 6 winners of ours?
Yes, please.
Amazing stories. Let's be a little generous with our applause and let's try and find some inspiration. Already they are giving ideas, they're fueling other ideas, so people here, change makers here.
Absolutely, I agree with Anand. Let's give it up one more time for all these change makers in the house for the exceptional work that they've been putting out. Ladies and gentlemen, it brings me immense pleasure. It's my honor and privilege to now invite 2 very special guests on stage. We have the honor and privilege to have with us Mumbai's Commissioner of Police, Mr. Vivek Pansalkar. We also have with us Mr. Siddharth Sharma, the CEO of Tata Trust, and they will be joining Anand on stage for a short discussion and for a felicitation of change makers as part of this evening. Huge round of applause for our distinguished guests, please.
Wow. Now, this is perhaps a stage for excellence, and I've got to thank AU Bank and our entire team at Network 18, because this Badlaav Humse hai is something very special for me. If Gul Panag and Iqbal Singh Chahal ji were setting the standards there in the opening overs, these 2 batsmen are going to take this entire conversation to the next level, ladies and gentlemen. One represents the Tata Trust, philanthropy par excellence. The other person is Commissioner of Mumbai Police. To get into the police, to wear that khaki uniform and to serve people, that itself takes so much of courage and so much of commitment towards society. So, hats off, sir. Hats off to both of you. Thank you very, very much. And why are you, to every person in khaki who's out there serving, in a country like ours where it is 1 is to nearly 800 people, 1 policeman for 800 people, for us to be able to maintain law and order like this, it's tireless. And I can see that you're hardly getting any sleep.
No, Anand keeps on getting younger. Every year I meet him. I was just asking him, what is the Raz?
Sir,
बदलाव तुमसे है
नहीं मैं इतना कहूंगा कि अगर मैंने साल भर पुलिस की नौकरी कर ली फिर भी ऐसा दिख गया तो मैं कहूंगा कि बदलाव हमसे है.
मैंने इसको कहा कि बदलाव हमसे भी है मगर यहाँ पे बदला हमसे मत लो.
But let me ask you, how easy or how difficult it is to remain committed for making society better when you have your own issues to deal with, every police person, you know, and see, how important is it that society steps up to help?
Well, first of all, let me acknowledge that Mumbai and Mumbaikars are a great people and a great city, and a lot of people keep helping us all the time, and that is one thing which keeps the commitment going. Having said that, yes, keeping the commitment is a huge and uphill task. It is never easy in any walk of life, and more so in the police. But I personally think that it is always important to motivate your force and officers and to continuously tell them that, you know, they are working for some higher purpose. Only then the commitment continues. Otherwise, in private sector, you know, it is very incentive driven. और 2 इंक्रीमेंट नहीं मिलते तो आप छोड़ के कहीं और चले जाते हो. हाँ, हम लोग तो 35 साल से डटे हुए हैं.
करेक्ट सर, आपका सिर्फ ट्रस्ट वैल्यू और ट्रस्ट फैक्टर गुडविल इंक्रीमेंट हो रहा है, वो मैं जानता हूं. बट एनी इंस्टेंस दैट कम्स टू योर माइंड वेयर यू थॉट दैट इफ दिस पर्सन कैन डू इट, आई कैन. एज अ लॉ एंड ऑर्डर वेटरन, you've seen lots, and the police force goes through lot. I'll share one incident of mine, but after you. one thing which said that if this person can do it, I can.
See, the greatest example that is said, and it is a global example, in 26/11 we had Tukaram Omble, who without a weapon caught alive, the only example of a terrorist being caught alive in the world. What better motivation and example can anyone have? And if you look at his age profile, if you look at his training profile, if you look at any of his previous works, I mean, by any standards, it was an unimaginable, unfathomable, unthinkable task. And he rose up to it. So I think everyone, when it is required, rises up to the occasion. And the most important thing is that we value each of our personnel. And we don't underestimate anyone. And that keeps them going.
Phenomenal, fantastic. I have to share, I have been a Mumbaiker for a long time, and there was this police officer, young person, who was there in Bandra East. After a 16-hour shift, 16-hour grueling shift, and working continuously for 15 days, I just bumped into him, and I said, "Kahan ja raha hai?" So he said, "Gym ja raha hu." I said, "Bhai, you should go back to sleep. 16 घंटे काम करके you looking so tired." He said, "नहीं यार, fit नहीं रहूँगा तो फिर ये कर नहीं पाऊँगा." So that moment told me that if this guy after 16-hour grueling schedule and still is worried about his fitness and his well-being, तो अपन कर ही सकते हैं, we can do it.
Because 16 hours was exertion. And then that 1 hour is going to be exercise.
Exercise.
There's a difference between exertion and exercise. You need not fall asleep after exertion, but you definitely get a good sleep after exercise.
Exercise.
We are equipping a lot of our police stations. 2 days back, I inaugurated a refurbished gymnasium in the police commissioner's office itself. That also takes commitment. So,
yes.
Yeah.
No, phenomenal. Let me ask you, Tata Trust, and for us, Trust Tata. So it's a big responsibility on your shoulders. How do you then continue to be a change maker? How do you continue to be, shouldering the responsibility of this trust that society has on you?
I think it's actually riding on the belief of 1.4 billion Indians. The Tatas, as you know, were founded more than 150 years ago. And we have always shown that in terms of the organizational structure, in terms of the manner that we work, that it is possible to do business with the heart. It is possible to do business and also ensure that the communities continue to be the center of whatever we do, that there's no binary between profit and social welfare and social well-being. And I think the country has seen that, because for the Tata Group, the Tata Trust is standing at the apex of the group. I think it's always been about nation building, shouldering whatever responsibilities we can towards national priorities, whether it was COVID, whether it was setting up eminent institutes of national importance like the Indian Institute of Science, TIFA, Tata Memorial Hospital, etc. I mean, the list is endless. Now, that's not been dictated by the element of profit. It has been dictated by taking a long-term call on the country and making sure that you do the right thing, irrespective of the costs entailed. And I think that's today why every Indian, and I think it's irrespective of government, it's irrespective of corporates, it's irrespective of philanthropies. I think when you say the name Tata, automatically there's trust in it.
Absolutely, I'll second. I started my career as a Tata employee. After doing engineering, I worked with the then Telco, now Tata Motors, as a graduate trainee engineer.
I studied in Jamshedpur.
This was Pune. This was Pune. And the values that they inculcate in you, the Tata culture is simply awesome. And as he said, Tata spells trust. My mother was very fond of saying that Tata ka namak bhi zyada khatta hota hai. Tata spells quality, and I definitely second what he says.
True, but when you have so much of expectation riding on you, you know, we're on a platform where, again, the sponsor itself is an example by itself. A small finance bank taking banking to where it has never gone. It's a story in itself. So where I'm coming from is, how often does it happen that when you look at things and these are impossible situations, you got nothing in your hand. You took Tukaram Ombleji's example. How often do you come to that situation? And how do you get into the thing like, rather than looking at it as a problem, let's see how we can solve it? Do you have an, yeah.
It's a continuous battle all the time. See, most of the time you really, I mean, no factor is within your control. And yesterday only somebody was asking me that how are you planning your day? I said the day plans for me. I don't plan the day. So you have to constantly be on the edge and alert at the same time, think of all possible situations and get solutions. You know, when I joined the police and started working, I realized the meaning of karmanye vadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana.
Correct.
You never know whether you are going to arrest the fellow, you are going to get it, you are going to crack the case or not. But you have to get going. And you continue till you finally reach your destination. So it is always a long haul. And somehow, hats off to the policemen and the police force. They get mentally trained for such a kind of a situation, such a kind of a scenario at work each day. And they keep going.
I'm going to ask Siddharthji the next question, but I'm giving you time to think of one such situation within your own force where you saw this person effecting change or doing something in an impossible situation, where you just come in terms of human industry, that we look at our own possible, where we say that if we have to be the change maker, we've got to do it. I'll come back to you on that. But Siddharthji, for you, let me ask you, a trying situation, a tough situation, where you thought, this is not happening, but let's see if we can do it?
No, I think it's just a question of how you approach any situation. The environment is never always going to be optimal in any field of endeavor, because I started my service as a career bureaucrat in 1992, and I am a recent inductee into the Tatas, unlike Vivek. He started from the corporate sector, went into government. I started from government and came into the corporate sector.
Yeah, Adan Pradhan exchange.
You know, so
you'll have to hold the mic a little closer. Yeah.
I think it's always about the environment not going to be conducive in any area, but what is the intent that you bring to a task? That's one. So the intent has to be right. There has to be clarity. And you've got to be singularly focused, so I can't kind of really pinpoint any one situation. I mean, there have been multiple situations which happen every day when you are planning for the long term, when you're looking at certain projects, whether you're looking at transformational projects in government or in the corporate sector. I mean, you know, the law kicks in Murphy's law that, you know, if anything can go wrong, it will. The question is, how do you navigate out of that, and how do you kind of make sure, and that for me always has been having clarity of purpose, having the right intent and putting your heart into it. And at the end of the day, I've always seen, I mean, in a 32-year career, that things sort out by themselves.
But some change maker, some person who stayed with you, some instance which stayed with you, which said, listen, if this person can, Siddharth, you can too, and you will too.
Well, I wouldn't take one single example, but for me, I think the one person who I really think as a change maker going back 150 years, and in terms of the vision, I would look at Jamsetji Tata, because here was a person who was operating in pre-independent India and colonial India, where the administration was only focused on law and order and collection of revenues, right?
Yeah.
And he laid the vision of an industrialized India. He bet big, right? So I think that was one person, and more importantly, as I said, set in place an organizational structure wherein the better our companies did, the more the profits that you created, a large portion of that automatically went back into serving society in all areas. So it was, if I say, a concept very, very close, almost identical to the concept of public trusteeship, which Mahatma Gandhi had enunciated. So for me, I mean, he was one of those change makers, not an unsung hero, but one of those change makers who thought of these things when nobody else did.
True, very true. And nation building was at the core. Very well said. This courage of conviction, not easy to have.
Yeah, so talking about change, you know, one of the major challenge that the Maharashtra police and the Mumbai police had was when this 30% reservation for women came into being. You know, earlier it wasn't envisaged as a women's job. And tomorrow is International Women's Day and today is the eve. So first of all, felicitations to all the women folk sitting over here and salutations from the Mumbai police, individually from my side as well as the force. You see, we were required to do a lot of structural changes in order to make it functionally possible for women to work. Police stations, you know, there's a very famous video of Sudha Murthy ji, that when she went to the engineering college, there was no ladies' toilet. Similar was the situation in the police stations or all our police establishments. It was not factored for women working over there. So to bring about that aspect has been a very tall order. I'll be very happily telling you that not only now we are equipping all police stations with, you know, women's toilet, but yesterday only with the help of Tata Capital, again Tatas came to our rescue, we have made 7 Hirkani Kaksh, you know, restrooms and some kind of a facility for the women constables and the women officers in each police station. So creating a space for women, creating a conducive atmosphere for women police in order to give an enhanced feeling of security for women in the city has been a major change that we are undergoing. And let me tell you, women's safety is our priority. We have also prioritized on people rather than property. You see, ultimately it boils down to, our job boils down to only protecting life and property. And life has to have priority. In the last 5 years, I was just going through the statistics and we had close to 27,944 women and girls going missing. And we have traced back more than 23,600 at a strike rate of 94.5%. Now, unfortunately, this work doesn't get any credit because not every missing person going back is a crime. You know, so but the effort is as much as the crime. So prioritizing women's safety in the city, and that is why I'm very happy. I think Gul Panag is sitting over here and she will, you know, second my opinion. Mumbai continues to be and will be the safest city for all women folk in the country. And, you know, the only barometer is that whoever comes to Mumbai doesn't leave Mumbai.
No, or whoever has to leave Mumbai takes a little bit of Mumbai always with them. So that is also there.
That is a better thing for the change in the rest of the country. They'll be the change makers.
But I must second that assertion of yours, Vivek, because for someone who's lived in Delhi for the largest part of my life, and having been in the safe and secure environments of Lutyens Delhi and Rashtrapati Bhavan, I think women feel so empowered when they come from anywhere in the north to Mumbai. Because even at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I have taken drives here, along Marine Drive, along everything else. I mean, there's absolutely no fear. It's unthinkable of, it's absolute. So I think the credit really goes to Mumbai police and the citizens at large.
There's an extra freedom in the air of Mumbai than the rest of the country, I guess. And a lot of credit goes to my policemen who patrol the streets, you know. And another change is that, you know, women folk have started patrolling now.
Yes.
Earlier they were restricted to desk jobs and kind of day jobs, but we have put them, you know, the Nirbhaya squad that you see on the streets. Our response time is now reduced to almost 7 minutes. So even if you make a fake call, we will be reaching you in 7 minutes, but then the treatment could be a little different.
Yeah, but it's good that as Commissioner Mumbai Police, he's patted the back for his force. But 70% to Mumbaikar ka banta hai, sir.
See, the Mumbaikars are awesome. There is no doubt about it. And as I said, that Mumbai and Maharashtra has a very unique culture. You know, women have always been having.
Sir, I have run out
respectable
of time on
situations.
this conversation. We have to celebrate some of our change makers, but I'm just going to squeeze the last 60 seconds, 30 seconds to you and 30 seconds to you. One change that you want to make. एक बदलाव जो अब आप करना चाहते हैं. One thing जो रह गया है या करना है.
One change that I would like to make is that, you know, the citizens should feel absolutely friendly as if they are entering some park, not a police station. That
the
continues
change,
to be
the
our
entry
goal.
into the police station के ऐसा अपना कैफे में चाय पीने जा रहे हैं वैसा वो वाला मूड होना चाहिए. Fantastic, sir. We'll work towards that. Siddharth ji.
We will continue to work towards empowering the person at the last mile, the last man standing, because I think we are making great economic progress. But at the same time, we must not lose sight of the fact that 60% of Indians, or 850 million, is still living on less than $3 a day, or 250 rupees a day. And for us, that is the change because when you are able to raise per capita incomes, you are able to take millions and millions out of poverty that still exists. That is the one change that we'll strive for.
Brilliant, brilliant. I told you they'll take it to the next level and that's what they've done. Big round of applause for Fansalkar ji and also Siddharth ji. Thank you so much, Vivek ji. Thank you so much. I'm going to request gentlemen to please wait.
What a fascinating and insightful session. Thank you, Commissioner sir. Thank you, Siddharth sir. But I'll request all of you to stay on stage with us because now it's time to get our next felicitations going for our next set of change makers. We want to begin this round of felicitations with a story that comes in from Odisha, where one lady is working tirelessly towards reducing plastic by launching a very unique initiative with Bartan Bank. Let's take a look at their story.
जो सरपंच हैं वो जब सरपंच हैं वो जब गांव घूमते थे तो देखते थे कि प्लास्टिक बहुत यूज हो रहा है।
तो ये आइडिया आया कि बर्तन बैंक का अगर हम लोगों ने यूज करेंगे तो बहुत बीमारी से बच जाएंगे। गांव वाले लोग अपने पैसे से बर्तन खरीदे हैं और उन लोग खुद देते हैं जो भी प्रोग्राम है उसमें। और लेके जाते हैं सभी प्रोग्राम में और फिर साफ सफाई करके फिर लाके बैंक में जमा कर देते हैं। पास से लाते हैं तो 2000 रुपया किराया है, दूर से लाते हैं तो 3-4 हजार रुपया किराया है। तो गांव में वो बैंक खुलने के बाद में उनका वो जो किराया जो लग रहा है वो बच रहा है।
पंचायत के सभी गांव में चालू करने का हम लोगों ने ठाने हैं और जल्द से जल्द हमारे जितने भी 8 गांव जो बचे हैं वहां पे भी हम लोग चालू करेंगे।
I would now like to invite on stage Mrs. Sanjay Agarwal to receive the honors. Please continue with a huge round of applause. work that you've been doing. Our next change maker is someone who's been working with the sole purpose of trying to empower women in the society. This is the story of Mahila Commandos. Let's take a look.
महिलाएं बताती थी कि हमारे पति नशा करके आते हैं, मारपीट करते हैं, हमारे बच्चे भी नशा कर रहे हैं और बिगड़ रहे हैं, तो इसके लिए हम लोग क्या करें। तो हम लोगों ने बहुत सोचा विचार किया और हमारे मन में आया कि क्यों ना इन्हीं सक्रिय महिलाओं का एक ग्रुप बनाया जाए, जिसको हम लोगों ने महिला कमांडो का नाम दिया। एक वो गृहिणी है, एक मजदूर वर्ग की महिला है, तो जब उसको महिला कमांडो कहकर पुकारा जाता है तो उसे लगता है कि मुझे भी एक पहचान मिली। और ये बहनें टोटल वॉलंटियरी वर्क करती हैं और गांव में रात्रिकालीन गश्त करती हैं। महिला कमांडो को लेके हमारा लक्ष्य बहुत ही बड़ा है, क्योंकि हम चाहते हैं कि छत्तीसगढ़ की हर महिला कमांडो के रूप में आगे आए। हमारी महिला कमांडो समूह से जुड़ के गोबर का दिया बना रही हैं, दोना पत्थर का काम कर रही हैं, वर्मी कंपोस्ट बना रही हैं, फूल की खेती, और अधिकांश महिलाएं एग्रीकल्चर से जुड़ के खेती किसानी का काम कर रही हैं।
What a lovely story of Mahila Commandos. Please welcome Mrs. Shamshad Begum, founder of the Mahila Commandos, to join us on stage. Please, ma'am. Huge round of applause.
मैं पहले तो धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी।
मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहता हूँ, आप कैप पहन के क्यों नहीं आए और डंडा लेके क्यों नहीं?
असली में मैं मोटिवेट करती हूँ बहनों को गांव-गांव जाकर कि हमको क्राइम को कैसे रोकना है, गांव में कैसे शांति का माहौल बनाना है। तो ये हमारी बहनें जो महिला कमांडो हैं वो टोटल वॉलंटियर हैं, रात को गश्त करती हैं, गांव में कुछ अनैतिक वर्क होते हैं उसको लोग प्रेम से समझाती है गांधी जी के सिद्धांतों पर
बगल में आपको पता है मुंबई के पुलिस कमिश्नर खड़े हैं, आपने तो पुलिस का काम अपने हाथों ले लिया, पुलिस क्या करेगी फिर?
हम लोग जब सबसे पहले 2006 में महिला कमांडो बनाए तो हम लोग सबसे पहले एसपी साहब से मिलने गए, तो एसपी साहब ने कहा हम पुलिस मित्र बनाएंगे, और कम्युनिटी पुलिसिंग के क्षेत्र में फिर और हमारे एसपी साहब आए तो उन्होंने उनको एसपीओ भी बनाया और विशेष उनकी ड्यूटी लगाई। कहीं पे चक्का जाम हो रहा है, सीएम साहब आ रहे, तो ऐसे उनको, और पुलिस विभाग का हमको पूरा सपोर्ट मिलता है और उनको हम लोग सेल्फ डिफेंस की ट्रेनिंग करवाते हैं। जी जी,
ये आपको अभी विवेक जी ने बोलने को बोला ना कि पुलिस विभाग से सपोर्ट मिलता है।
इसको देख के सर नागपुर में भी अभी शुरू होने वाला है, नागपुर साइड में।
अभी देखिए मीडिया वाले कुछ अच्छा सुनना ही नहीं चाहते।
नहीं सर, हमने तो पहले ही जाके पुलिस विभाग में ही कहा कि हम महिला कमांडो बना रहे हैं, तो पूरा सपोर्ट हमको मिलता है।
तो ये मुंबई में वी कैन ट्राई दिस इन मुंबई आल्सो।
We have a lot of community policing initiatives going on in Mumbai, especially in the densely populated areas or the communal hotspots where a lot of communities stay, and there's a lot of coexistence also. And this is one example where they are working as a force multiplier for the police force where it is absolutely necessary. So congratulations, Shamshad ji.
Big round of applause for Shamshad ji.
Round of applause, please. Thank you, ma'am. Congratulations once again to you and to your entire team. Our next story, and I need a louder round of applause because it comes from Amchi, Mumbai. The Oscar Foundation has been opening doors for kids in slums with newer opportunities. Let's take a look at their story.
This is the community where I have grown up, and these are the children, my family. Right front of my eyes, I saw how they were dropping out of the school, falling prey to addiction and crime. I knew I had to help them. When I launched Oscar Foundation in 2010 and I started teaching football to these children, parents were not ready to send their kids. Convincing them was a huge challenge. So I set a condition: no school, no football. If you want to play, you will need to study first. I started with one football and 18 children. I didn't have a ground, no equipment, no money, just sheer willpower to carry on. Football became a tool to teach children them life skills, confidence, discipline, gender equality, resilience. Right now, there is 33% girls participate in our program. We want to make it up to 50%.
I would now like to invite on stage Mr. Ashok Rathore to please join us and receive the honors. Huge round of applause, please.
खेलने नहीं मिलेगा। तो जो भी बच्चे हमारे प्रोग्राम में आते हैं ऑस्कर फाउंडेशन में, अगर वो स्कूल नहीं जाते तो उनको हम फुटबॉल नहीं सिखाते। तो फुटबॉल के लिए सारे बच्चे स्कूल जाते हैं।
कभी कभी हम लोग गोली देते ना, सर जाके तो आया पर गया नहीं, तो फिर कैसे पता लगेगा?
तो ये सारे बच्चे ना बस्ती में रहते एक साथ, तो कोई अगर झूठ बोलता है तो दूसरा ये नहीं आया था आज। तो ये बच्चे ही हमारी आंख और कान है, और इससे हमको, और सारे बच्चे जो स्कूल नहीं जाते तो हम उनसे कहते हैं मार्कशीट सबमिट करना है। तो मार्कशीट नहीं सबमिट करते हैं वो साल ईयरली, तो हमको पता चलता है कि ये ड्रॉप आउट होने का चांसेस है।
जब आप पहले फुटबॉल लेके गए उनको और बोला आओ खेलो, तो आपने बोला यहाँ पर कि उनके माता पिता मना करते थे, तो आपको डिसअपॉइंट नहीं हुआ? आपको नहीं लगा अरे यार मैं क्या करने निकला और कोई सपोर्ट नहीं करता है? फिर क्या किया आपने?
तो शुरुआत में तो बच्चे भी साथ में नहीं खेलना चाह रहे थे क्योंकि कास्ट और रिलीजन को लेकर। तो फिर धीरे धीरे फुटबॉल इज अ टीम गेम, तो फुटबॉल से ही हमने उनकी एक टीम, अपने आप टीम बनने लगी, भूल गए उनके कास्ट और रिलीजन के बारे में। फिर बाद में देखा कि पेरेंट्स बोल रहे कि आप हमारे बच्चों को बिगाड़ रहे हो, ये खेलने की वजह से स्कूल में ध्यान नहीं देते हैं। तो मैंने सोचा कि मैं अच्छा करने के सोच रहा हूँ और अभी ये पेरेंट्स ही मुझ पे ब्लेम कर रहे हैं, तो मैं इसको बंद कर देता हूँ। फिर बच्चे आके मुझे कहा कि हमको पता है आप क्या काम कर रहे हो, तो हम आप पे विश्वास करते हैं, तो आप क्यों बंद करना चाहते हो? तो मैंने कहा हाँ सही बात है, मैं बच्चों को लिए काम कर रहा हूँ और ये विश्वास कर रहे तो मुझे और क्या चाहिए। तो आई स्टार्टेड दैट। और मैं आपको एक चीज़ बता दूँ कि लास्ट ईयर हमारे जो ऑस्कर फाउंडेशन से बच्चे 527 बच्चे 10वीं और 12वीं में थे, और 93% बच्चे, सारे बच्चे 10वीं और 12वीं पास हुए। तो इससे पेरेंट्स का माइंडसेट बदल गया कि खेल से बच्चों का पढ़ाई में भी वो होशियार होते हैं और उनका पढ़ाई भी इंप्रूव होता है।
ये फुटबॉल खेल पास हो जाए वाला ये फॉर्मूला ये पहली बार सुना है, बट इट इज अ फैंटास्टिक वन। बिग राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर अशोक राठौर प्लीज। सर प्लीज।
Congratulations, Mr. Rathore, to not just you but to your entire team for the kind of work that you've been putting out. Our next change maker is helping empower people with disabilities. This is the story of CLAW and the stellar work that they've been doing. Let's take a look at their story.
CLAW was founded to use adventure sports as a tool to empower the youth and persons with disabilities by giving them adventure sports and life skills training. During a combat skydive in 2015, my parachute malfunctioned and I had a spinal cord injury. While recovering in hospital, I met Flight Lieutenant Baduria, who was permanently paralyzed due to an accident. He once asked me if he could scuba dive, and that question changed everything for me. My buddies retired from the Indian Army and the Naval Special Forces joined us, and that's how we became Team CLAW. We decided to focus on creation, especially focused at helping people with disabilities. Operation Blue Freedom was born to evolve society's view of disabilities and ensure dignity and freedom for everyone. Along our journey, the vision expanded to create centers worldwide where military, special forces veterans and people with disabilities working together, not just to benefit those with disabilities, but everyone.
Well, that was the story of Team CLAW, capture, land, air, water. Spectacular work being done there. Unfortunately, Major Jacob couldn't be here with us today, but we would still want to congratulate him and his entire team, and we would want to wish them the very best in taking their work forward. So we would request a huge round of applause for Team CLAW. Ladies and gentlemen, our next inspirational story comes from down south, from Puducherry, where the Bridges Learning Vidyalaya is helping educate children with special needs. Let's take a look at their story.
In my early teaching years, I used to observe that some children were constantly struggling with basic concepts. I started working with each child and used the therapy of love to find my answers. We go with the strength of the children. I understand the capacity, the capabilities. I do an assessment periodically and find out what is their unique strength. So we have to get to the child's shoes and understand from their own level. Bringing them together increases their tolerance, and slowly they become more accepting of themselves and others.
Gentlemen, please extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Bhuvna Vasudevan for the stellar work that she and her team have been putting in. Congratulations, ma'am. Please join us on stage.
Ma'am, one quick question. It said 6,000 people have now got careers after learning from Bridges Vidyalaya.
See, our children are basically children with learning disabilities, dyslexia, autism, ADHD, and also other neurodiverse disorders. And bridges is, it's a hope, dreams and transformation for many children and parents across, Pondicherry, like around Pondicherry. And ours was the only institution still functioning in Pondicherry for more than 27 years. Like, I'm becoming age now, probably 59, but when I see you all, I feel, yes, I need to be more motivated. And Badlaav Humse, I'm really thankful, because when I feel like a kind of, oh, how am I going to continue, because I need a downline and things like that, when someone just calls me and say, no, your work is to be appreciated. From Puducherry, in one nook and corner, I'm just serving people, serving children. And I've been recognized and called here to Mumbai. It's a real, I really don't know, no words to express, I'm 200% thankful to you all, because I don't know how I was seen and how I've been recognized by Badlaav Humse and also AU Small Finance. I'm really thankful to each and everyone over here. It's a transformation for children. And now with my, when my dreams and hope and passion and whatever has come into reality, now I feel, like even I am transformed now. Like how children have transformed. And in the same way, now I feel, yes, I'm transformed. And I dedicate this award to all the children across the world who have learning disabilities and also parents, not to lose any kind of hope that your child will definitely turn out to be a very, very successful student. Yeah.
Congratulations for your work. As about change in Mumbai Police also, we have now associated ourselves with spastic children, children with dyslexia, autism, and even all orphanages. For the first time, each police station has listed all such special ability institutions, and every month or two our officers visit just to tell them that we are with them. Yes. Sometimes they lose their way, so they should recognize that a policeman in uniform is their best friend. Go to him and kind of support them.
Yes, yes. Everyone says about occupation therapy, speech therapy and all that, but I totally believe in therapy of love, that definitely transforms children. And even today, I'm not here in the school. When I just go tomorrow, my children will ask me, where are you, ma'am? Why did you take leave? We couldn't see you, It's like that. It's a kind of love. That's what transforms people.
Ma'am, you're being very humble in trying to give us credit. In fact, we are lucky to have found you and that we've been able to showcase what you are doing. And let's just hope there are many more who are inspired and we're able to say these stories. Thank you very much for making the time and for coming, and thank you for the service that you're doing for humanity. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Big round of applause for Shubhna.
Huge round of applause for Dr. Vasudevan and her entire team for the work that they've been doing. Thank you, ma'am. We now want to move on to our next story. And this story is of Ma Annapurna, an organization that is empowering local women with livelihoods and leadership opportunities. And this story comes in from rural Rajasthan. Let's take a look at their story.
हालांकि जमाना बहुत आगे गया, लेकिन गांव में आज भी वही समस्या है कि घूंघट में रहो, आदमियों के साथ बात मत करो, ये सब कुछ आज भी गांव में चल रहा है। तो हमारे गांव में एक बदलाव लाना बहुत जरूरी था। गांव में कोई रोजगार का साधन नहीं था, तो हमने जरूरतमंद औरतों के साथ मां अन्नपूर्णा मसाला की शुरुआत की थी। यहाँ पे महिला ही सारा काम देखती है, खुद ग्रेडिंग करती है, खुद मशीनें चलाती है, महिला खुद पैक करती है और मसाले को तैयार करके मार्केट तक पहुँचाती है। इसमें सारा सहयोग महिलाओं का है। काना का करिया मत मारे रे मटकिया, फूट जावेली रे गगरिया, फूट जावेली रे काना। इस साल हमारा टारगेट 30 से 40 लाख रुपए का सेल हो और आने वाले 1-2 सालों में 2 करोड़ का टर्नओवर हो और जिसका जो प्रॉफिट हो वो हमारी औरतों में बढ़ जाए, जिससे हर महिलाएं अपनी जिंदगी को बेहतर बना पाए। और आज मैं खुल के कहती हूँ कि अगर महिला कहीं जुट जाए तो वो असंभव को भी संभव कर सकती है।
Ladies and gentlemen, before I invite our next change maker, we have the honor and privilege to have with us the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji with us. Huge round of applause. Thank you so much, sir, for making the time and joining us this evening. But at this point, I do want to invite Mrs. Sanju Yogi on stage to please come on, join us to receive the honors. Huge round of applause for Sanju Yogi.
आप कुछ कहना चाहती थी?
मैं ये कहना चाहती थी कि मैं एक गांव ही नहीं, गांव से भी छोटी इकाई जो होती है ढाणी, मैं वहां से आई हूँ। हमारे गांव की औरतें, सच में ही कहने को तो देश बहुत तरक्की कर रहा है, लेकिन हमारे गांव की औरतें आज भी बाहर निकलने से बहुत कतराती है। आप मानोगे नहीं कि मेरा भी फ्लाइट यात्रा पहली बार हुई है, तो मैं बहुत ज्यादा खुश हूँ और एयू को बहुत बहुत बधाई देती हूँ।
बधाई आपके लिए है, क्योंकि आपने एक ढाणी के अंदर इतना बड़ा कारोबार शुरू किया है और मां अन्नपूर्णा शुरू किया है। आपको बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो और बधाई हो जी।
हमारी महिलाओं के पर जब लग गए, जब एयू बैंक ने हमारा साथ दिया, तो हमने उड़ान भर ली है।
क्या बात है, देखिए बदलाव इन जैसे लोगों से है। बिग राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर हर प्लीज। थैंक यू सो मच sir. Thank you so much. Thank you sir. Thank you.
Huge round of applause. Would like to thank Commissioner sir. We would also like to thank Mr. Sharma. Anand, I'll request you to please stay on stage with us. As we said, we have the honor and privilege to have with us, amongst us, the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and the Chief Guest of this evening, Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji. Sir, before I invite you on stage, we do want to play a small clipping of what this campaign has all been about. Let's play that AV before I invite the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister on stage.
From icy mountains to blue shores, from the urban sprawl to the bountiful hinterland, India is brimming with changemakers. People who give themselves over to their dreams, creating a better India and uplifting society, and proclaim in one voice, Badlaav Humse hai. This year, the Badlaav Humse champions have gone above and beyond to spark change that has transformed landscapes and lives.
These are stories of grit and determination, of unwavering dedication and extraordinary journeys.
Bringing the healing touch to far-flung areas and nourishing the vulnerable. Because strength sees no age and no gender. All it needs is an outlet.
The power to bring about change resides in all of us, irrespective of circumstances.
Under all pain is a vast, immovable power.
Every individual can be a catalyst for change,
waiting to burst forth.
When we change the way we look at a problem, very often we find a solution.
All it takes is for someone to see beyond grim reality with eyes of hope. To see the land for what it could be.
Every small gesture for nature creates ripples of change.
To spot beauty in waste. To reuse and recycle. Because Mother Earth needs all the help she can get.
The world is full of wonderfully creative and innovative people who have the passion for change.
As do the most vulnerable in society, because a home is a fundamental need. Even if you walk on 4 legs. No one rises alone. You need a friendly word, a helping hand. Because disability is just a label meant to be erased. And dreams belong to everyone. Whether you're on a sports ground, in a lab, or the classroom, the world is waiting for you to fill it with your song. Because you can't wait for change, and change waits for no one. AU Small Finance Bank presents Badlaav Humse in association with Network 18.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to take this opportunity to invite on stage the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji, to please join us on stage. He will be having a special fireside chat with Anand Narsiman, Managing Editor, Special Projects, Network 18. But before I let Anand go forward with that special conversation, I would also like to invite on stage Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, Founder, MD and CEO, AU Small Finance Bank, to also join us on stage to welcome the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister. Please, sir. Thank you, Sanjay, sir. Anand, over to you.
सर नमस्कार।
नमस्ते जी।
सर कुर्सी कंफर्टेबल है?
पॉलिटिशियन को कुर्सी चाहिए, कंफर्ट वो खुद ढूंढ लेता है।
मैं फिर पूछता हूं सर, महाराष्ट्र में कुर्सी कंफर्टेबल है?
महाराष्ट्र में बहुत कुर्सियां हैं, जो मिले उसको कंफर्टेबल समझना चाहिए।
महाराष्ट्र में जिसको जितनी कुर्सियां मिलने वाली हैं, उससे सब कंफर्टेबल हैं?
देखिए, फिर एक बार बोलता हूं कि जो कुर्सी मिली उसको कंफर्टेबल समझना चाहिए। पॉलिटिक्स में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम यह है कि अपनी कुर्सी को कोई कंफर्टेबल समझता नहीं है, हर एक की नजर दूसरे की कुर्सी पर होती है। तो आपको अगर सुकून चाहिए तो जो कुर्सी अपने को मिली उसको ही कंफर्टेबल समझो।
पर वो पॉलिटिशियन ही क्या सर जो ये नहीं कहे कि ये दिल मांगे मोर?
देखिए, कहने से क्या होता है? कहने को तो मैं ये भी कहूंगा कि ये दिल मांगे मोर, मुझे अमेरिका का प्रेसिडेंट बनाओ, बनूंगा थोड़ी। तो इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि वास्तविकता समझ लेना ये ज्यादा अच्छा होता है।
तो वास्तविकता है क्या?
जो आपको दिख रही है।
बट यहां पर बहुत कुछ दिख रहा है और कुछ नहीं भी दिख रहा है सर, तो इसीलिए मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं कि आप लोकसभा लड़ रहे हैं?
जी,
आप लोकसभा चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। मैं क्यों लड़ूंगा लोकसभा चुनाव? देखिए, ऐसा है कि हाँ, मेरी पार्टी अगर कहती मुझे लोकसभा चुनाव लड़ो तो लोकसभा लड़ूंगा, लेकिन अभी तक तो मेरी पार्टी ने मुझे कहा नहीं है और मुझे ऐसे कोई आसार भी नहीं दिखते कि मुझे मेरी पार्टी कहेंगे कि लोकसभा लड़ो। तो अभी मेरा मकाम तो महाराष्ट्र ही है।
कुछ लोग चाहते हैं कि आपको यहां से पार्सल कर दिया जाए।
वो कुछ लोग आपको ज्यादा मिलते हैं, मुझे मिले तो मैं उनको कन्विंस कर दूं कि मेरी जरूरत यहां है।
मैंने ये भी सुना कि कुछ को आप पार्सल करना चाहते हैं।
नहीं जी, देखिए, जिसको भारतीय जनता पार्टी मालूम है उसने समझ लेना चाहिए, या कोई किसी को पार्सल नहीं कर सकता।
अभी फिलहाल एक एनडीए है, एक एमवीए है, एक वीबीए है, उसका क्या रोल है सर?
देखिए, उसका रोल तो उसके मालिक बता सकते हैं, हम तो नहीं बोल सकते, क्योंकि उसके जो मालिक है वो अपनी मर्जी के मालिक है। तो अभी तो हम लोग मीडिया के माध्यम
उनकी मर्जी के मालिक कौन है?
मीडिया के माध्यम से देख रहे हैं कि उनकी बातचीत एमवीए से चल रही है। तो जब तक वो चल रही है तब तक वो चल रही है। अगर नहीं चली तो नहीं चलेगी, अगर हो गई तो हो जाएगी।
वो ऐसा है कि उनको कहा जाता है कि वो मुखौटा किसी का पहनते हैं पर तीर किसी और के लिए चलाते हैं।
देखिए, अब एक बहुत सीनियर लीडर है, उनके बारे में ऐसा कहना तो ठीक नहीं होगा। वो अपने मर्जी के मालिक है।
पर उनकी मर्जी का मालिक कौन है, मैं वही पूछ रहा था आपसे।
ये तो आप पता कीजिए ना। ये तो आपका काम है, हमारा थोड़ी काम है।
वही तो कोशिश कर रहा हूं, पर रहा नहीं जाता। आप बैठते हैं तो फिर आई हैव टू स्टार्ट एंड आई स्टार्टेड। बट थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर फर्स्ट अप टेकिंग टाइम आउट एंड कमिंग टू दिस वेरी स्पेशल एंडेवर, जहां हम बदलाव की बात कर रहे हैं। और बदलाव बहुत बड़ा एक चेंज जिसे कहते हैं ना कि बी द चेंज, और बदलाव हमसे है, उसके आप प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण भी हैं। तो सबसे पहले आपको इस मुहिम के बारे में मैं पूछना चाहता हूं।
नहीं, मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि ये बहुत अच्छी मुहिम है। देखिए, कई बार हम लोगों को ये लगता है कि समाज ये सरकार के भरोसे चलता है। हाँ, सरकार का मुख्य रोल तो है ही, लेकिन समाज की अपनी व्यवस्था होती है। समाज में अपना एक ताकत होती है, एक ऊर्जा होती है, एक अपना पौरुष होता है जो समाज को आगे बढ़ाता है। कई बार हम लोग ये सोचते हैं कि, और लोग कहते हैं कि जी पुराने जमाने में प्रेरणा देने वाले लोग बहुत थे, अब लोग कम हो गए। ऐसा नहीं है। अगर हम अपने आजू बाजू देखें तो इतने लोग प्रेरणादायी काम कर रहे हैं, हम उनको रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं कर रहे। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि बदलाव हमसे है, ये जो मुहिम है, ये ऐसे लोगों को हम रिकॉग्नाइज कर रहे हैं जो अपने खुद के बलबूते पर बदलाव कर रहे हैं, चेंज कर रहे हैं। देखिए, मैं कोई भी व्यक्ति, मैं हूं, आप है, दुनिया नहीं बदल सकते, लेकिन हम केवल दुनिया बदलनी है ऐसी बात करेंगे तो दुनिया बदलेगी नहीं। हम अपनी जितनी ताकत है उतनी ताकत से भी अगर कोई बदलाव हम ला पाए तो दुनिया बदलेगी। और मुझे लगता है कि ये जो सारे लोग जिनको आपने चुना है, मैं उनका कार्य पढ़ रहा था, अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में पढ़ रहा था, ये ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्होंने ये निर्धार किया, जिन्होंने तय किया कि हमारी क्षमता के अनुसार हम दुनिया को बदलेंगे, और उन्होंने बदलकर दिखाया, उन्होंने चेंज लाया। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये एक बहुत अच्छी मुहिम है। और सबसे बड़ी बात क्या होती है कि जब ऐसे चेंज मेकर्स को आप रिकॉग्नाइज करते हो, उनका कार्य वो आप समाज के सामने लाते हो, तो उसमें लोगों को भी उससे प्रेरणा मिलती है। देखिए, एक हमारे यहाँ, मैं कई बार ये बात कह चुका हूं, फिर भी कहना चाहता हूं कि एक चाणक्य सीरियल आती थी
जी, और
इस सीरियल में एक डायलॉग था कि इस राष्ट्र की जितनी दुर्दशा दुर्जनों की दुर्जनता से नहीं हुई, उतनी सज्जनों की निष्क्रियता से हुई है। और ये जो यथार्थ है, ये जो सज्जन शक्ति है, जो अच्छा काम करती है, उसको अगर हम सक्रियता के साथ समाज के सामने लाएंगे तो मुझे लगता है कि समाज में प्रेरणा बढ़ेगी, लोगों में विश्वास बढ़ेगा, हम भी बदलाव ला सकते हैं, हम भी चेंज कर सकते हैं, इस प्रकार की भावना बढ़ेगी। तो मैं ये जो नेटवर्क 18 ने सारा जो उपक्रम किया है, मैं आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहता हूं।
थैंक यू वेरी वेरी मच। अब देखिए, मैं जर्नलिस्ट हूं, पत्रकार हूं, तो बदलाव से कुछ याद आया। 2019 में उद्धव जी ने कहा बदलाव हमसे है, उसके बाद आपने कहा बदलाव हमसे है, फिर एकनाथ शिंदे जी बोले बदलाव हमसे है, फिर अजित पवार जी बोले बदलाव हमसे है। अब आगे कौन बदलाव करने वाला है?
देखिए, इसका मैं एक लाइन में जवाब दूंगा, आगे आगे देखिए होता है क्या।
अब वो आगे आगे देखने में ही महाराष्ट्र की पृष्ठभूमि इतनी एक्साइटिंग हो गई है सर कि अगला पन्ना खुलने से पहले ही पूछना चाहते हैं कि होने क्या वाला है।
तो ये तो हमारा ऐसा चल रहा है कि ये ऐसी वेब सीरीज चल रही है कि जिसमें 7-8 एपिसोड के बाद हम उस सीजन को समाप्त कर देते हैं। और नए सीजन का आपको इंतजार करवाते हैं।
पर अगर बड़े पृष्ठ पे देखें, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जो कहा 370 बीजेपी को और 400 पार एनडीए को, उसमें सबसे अहम अगर दक्षिण के राज्यों के बाद 100 सीटें वहां पर दक्षिण के राज्यों में 4 राज्य जहां बीजेपी नहीं है, केरल, तमिलनाडु, आंध्र, तेलंगाना, उसके साथ अहम कड़ी महाराष्ट्र की 48 सीटें। यहां बाहर लोग कह रहे हैं आपके तो 20 भी नहीं आएंगी।
पहले तो मैं आपको सुधार दूं कि 4 राज्यों में बीजेपी नहीं है, ये जो आज आप कह रहे हैं, चुनाव के बाद ये कहने पर आपको पछतावा होगा। इसलिए इस डायलॉग को चेंज कर दीजिए। देखिए, ये चुनाव, ये पॉलिटिकल अर्थमेटिक का चुनाव नहीं है। पॉलिटिकल अर्थमेटिक होता है 1 + 1 2। ये पॉलिटिकल केमिस्ट्री का चुनाव है। पॉलिटिकल केमिस्ट्री में 1 + 1 11 होता है। देश मोदी जी के साथ निकल पड़ा है, चाहे वो पूरब हो, पश्चिम हो, उत्तर हो, दक्षिण हो, या सेंट्रल इंडिया हो, या नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया हो। सब जगह लोगों ने यह तय कर लिया है कि हम मोदी जी के साथ जाएंगे। तो साउथ में भी आपको चौंकाने वाले नतीजे मिलने वाले हैं। और लोग चाहे जो कहे, महाराष्ट्र में हमने 2 चुनाव में जो परफॉर्मेंस दिया, उससे हम आगे बढ़ेंगे, उससे पीछे नहीं आएंगे।
हमने का मतलब
एनडीए।
हाँ,
एनडीए।
उसमें बीजेपी का क्या?
बीजेपी तो हमारा तो ऐसा रहा है कि पिछले बार 25 सीटें लड़े तो 24 जीते, तो हमारा तो परफॉर्मेंस ऐसे ही रहेगा।
तो अभी 32 सीटें लड़े 30 जीतेंगे?
नहीं, वो आपने थोड़ी तय करना है कितनी सीटें हम लड़ेंगे, वो तो हम तय करेंगे। अरे कुछ तो हमारे लिए छोड़ दीजिए। आज मैंने पत्रकारों को कहा हमारी सीटें भी पत्रकार तय कर रहे हैं, हमारे कैंडिडेट भी पत्रकार तय कर रहे हैं। मैंने कहा अब एक वो चुनाव जीतने का एक सर्टिफिकेट भी छाप के हमको दे दो, हम सरकार भी बना लेंगे।
मैं तो बस पूछ रहा हूं कि 30 सीटों में 28 जीतेंगे, 32 में से 30 जीतेंगे। तो आपने पिछली बार से तो ज्यादा ही कह दिया है।
बहुत सच बात बताता हूं, बहुत सच बात। जल्दी हम बैठेंगे, सब तय करेंगे और जो तय हुआ आपको बता देंगे।
मान लिया जाए इनकी बात को, चलिए। पर देखिए, अभी इन्होंने ही बोला ना कि पिछली बार हम 25 में लड़े, 24 जीते। तो अभी 25 से तो ऊपर 28 का नंबर आता है, 30 का आता है। तो मैंने 30 बोला। उतना तो आप भी एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे होंगे। दिल मांगे मोर।
मैं जो एक्सपेक्ट करता हूं वो मेरे नेताओं को बताता हूं, पब्लिक फोरम पे नहीं बताता।
एक नेता है जो आपके बड़े घनिष्ठ मित्र हैं। आपने नेता से याद आया, आप उनके घर जाते हैं, वो आपके घर आते हैं, चाय पे चर्चा होती है। बट वो ट्रेन इंजन इस इंडिया की बोगी में फिट होने वाला है कि नहीं?
किसकी बात कर रहे हैं आप?
रेल इंजन किसकी है सर?
अच्छा, रेल इंजन की आप बात कर रहे हैं। देखिए, वो तो समय के साथ आपको पता चले। मैं आज इतना ही कहता हूं कि एक समय ऐसा था कि उनके और हमारे विचारों में अंतर था, क्योंकि हम लोग एक व्यापक विचार वाले लोग हैं। क्षेत्रीय अस्मिता ये तो होनी चाहिए। कोई अगर महाराष्ट्र में रहकर मराठी की बात करता है तो करनी ही चाहिए, लेकिन एक्सक्लूजन में बात करना ये हमारी पार्टी को मान्य नहीं था। हम व्यापक विचार रखने वाले लोग हैं, इसलिए हम में कुछ दूरियां थी, लेकिन विचारों की दूरियां तो धीरे धीरे समाप्त हो रही है। क्योंकि उन्होंने जब से मराठी प्राइड के साथ एक हिंदू प्राइड को भी अपनाया है, हिंदुत्व को अपनाया है, तो मुझे लगता है कि अब हमारे विचारों में कोई बहुत दूरियां नहीं रही है। अब पॉलिटिकली क्या होगा, वो क्या विचार करेंगे, हम क्या तय करेंगे, ये तो सारी चीजें कुछ समय के बाद तय होगी।
पर खिचड़ी ज्यादा नहीं पक रही है सर?
नहीं, अब
तो बहुत ज्यादा घोलमेल।
ऐसा ही होता है जब एक विशिष्ट प्रकार की परिस्थिति स्टेट में होती है, तो ऐसे ही खिचड़ी पकती है और पकानी भी पड़ती है। लेकिन खिचड़ी कितनी भी हम पकाए, तब भी सेंटर पॉइंट, मेन पिलर तो बीजेपी है और वही रहेगा।
पर इसका असर लोकसभा चुनाव पर नहीं होगा?
मतलब किस प्रकार से असर होगा?
क्योंकि ये खिचड़ी है, तुम
ना कोई असर नहीं होगा। अरे भाई, असर होने का सवाल ही नहीं है। अभी 2 ही खेमे हैं, मोदी जी के साथ और मोदी जी के खिलाफ। जो मोदी जी के साथ का खेमा है, उसका सिंबल क्या है, वो व्यक्ति क्या है, ये बिना देखे लोग उसको वोट करेंगे। और जो मोदी जी के साथ नहीं है, उसका सिंबल क्या है और व्यक्ति क्या है, ये बिना देखे उसको रिजेक्ट करेंगे।
तो आपको लगता है कि पिछली बार जो ये 48 सीटें हैं, इसमें एनडीए का वर्चस्व पिछली बार से ज्यादा होगा? 42
ज्यादा होना चाहिए, ऐसा मैं मानता हूं।
ऐसा आप मानते हैं? आज उधर महाविकास अघाड़ी के वरिष्ठ नेता हैं, जहां प्रधानमंत्री मेरा भारत मेरा परिवार कहते हैं, तो उन्होंने भी इस पर कुछ कहा है, कुछ टिप्पणी की है। उन्होंने कहा कि वो परिवार कहते हैं पर मानते नहीं।
क्या क्या?
परिवार कहते तो हैं पर मानते नहीं।
ऐसा किसने कहा?
उद्धव जी ने।
अरे छोड़ दीजिए, उद्धव जी सुबह अलग कहते हैं, रात को अलग कहते हैं। उद्धव जी खुद को पता नहीं होता वो क्या कहते हैं। और सीधा हिसाब है, मैं आपको पूछना चाहता हूं, उद्धव जी का एम क्या है? आदित्य को मुख्यमंत्री बनाना, यही एम है। मोदी जी का एम है उनके बेटे को मुख्यमंत्री बनाने का। मोदी जी किसी को भी बनाएंगे तो देश के किसी व्यक्ति को बनाएंगे, किसी को अगर आगे बढ़ाएंगे तो उनका तो परिवार कोई पॉलिटिक्स में है नहीं, खुद का परिवार भी नहीं है। तो इसलिए ये तो लोगों को पता है किसका परिवार देश है, कौन देश को परिवार मानकर राजनीति करता है और कौन अपने परिवार के लिए राजनीति करता है। अगर परिवार के लिए राजनीति उद्धव जी नहीं करते तो हमारे साथ होते, ये हालत नहीं होती उनकी। इसलिए मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि देखिए, आदमी जब कोई बात करता है ना, तो उसकी बात में दम होना चाहिए, उसमें कन्विक्शन होना चाहिए और लोगों को लगना चाहिए कि ये आदमी जो कह रहा है वो सही है। आप खुद ही परिवारवादी राजनीति करते हो, आपको क्या अधिकार है? नहीं कर सकते आप।
नहीं, परिवार है इसीलिए परिवार मानता हूं, महाराष्ट्र को परिवार मानता हूं क्योंकि परिवार है।
उन्होंने क्या कहा मुझे पता नहीं, मैंने सुना भी नहीं। आप जो कह रहे हैं उस पर मैं रिएक्ट कर रहा हूं, मैं सुनता तो उसको सही ढंग से रिएक्ट करता।
पर यहां ये भी कहते हैं कि बीजेपी के परिवार के इसको भी प्रधानमंत्री ने नजरअंदाज कर दिया मुख्यमंत्री के पद के लिए।
आप एक इतने क्या कहते हैं उसको, ऐसे प्रश्न पूछते हैं कि मुझे उसका कोई संदर्भ ही नहीं लगता। आप ऐसे एक सीक्रेट हमारी कोई इंटरव्यू चल रही है
नहीं
जिसमें पजल्स है और पजल्स को मुझे छुड़ाना है, ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है कि एक हमारा पजल इंटरव्यू, एक नया इंटरव्यू का एक नया तरीका दिख रहा है।
मुख्यमंत्री कौन था? आप थे। आप उप मुख्यमंत्री हैं, एकनाथ शिंदे जी मुख्यमंत्री हैं, अजीत पवार जी उप मुख्यमंत्री हैं। अब एक की जगह 3 हो गए हैं। कहा जाता है महाराष्ट्र में अब 3 पावर सेंटर हैं, सही है कि गलत है?
देखिए, पावर सेंटर एक ही होता है। हमारा जो राजनीति चलती है ये संविधान के अनुरूप चलती है। संविधान ने किसी भी राज्य में एक ही पावर सेंटर बनाया और वो पावर सेंटर है उस राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री। बाकी सारे लोग उनके अंडर काम करते। इस राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी है, मैं और अजित पवार हम उप मुख्यमंत्री है। वी डिराइव द पावर फ्रॉम द चीफ मिनिस्टर, इसलिए हम चीफ मिनिस्टर के अंडर काम करते हैं। हमारा कोई अलग पावर सेंटर नहीं है। द ओनली पावर सेंटर इन महाराष्ट्र इज चीफ मिनिस्टर एकनाथ शिंदे।
अब देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी ने कह दिया सो कह दिया, पर अंतिम प्रश्न बदलाव हमसे है जोड़ते हुए, क्या भारत के राष्ट्रीय पटल पर और राजनीतिक पटल पर एक ऐसा बदलाव दिखने को मिलेगा जो अभूतपूर्व है इस लोकसभा चुनाव में?
मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि हर मायने में यह लोकसभा चुनाव अभूतपूर्व रहने वाला है, क्योंकि इससे पहले हम लोगों ने ये देखा कि एक जिसको अनप्रेसिडेंटेड मैंडेट कहते हैं, ये केवल जब इमोशनल चीजें आई उसी समय अनप्रेसिडेंटेड मैंडेट मिला है। लेकिन कोई व्यक्ति तीसरी बार चुनाव को जाए और अपने कार्य के आधार पर अनप्रेसिडेंटेड मैंडेट ले, ये भारत के इतिहास में हुआ नहीं है, ये पहली बार होने वाला है। और मैं आपको ये कहना चाहता हूं कि मोदी जी का 3rd टर्म, ये टर्म तो 5 साल का है, पर ये अगले 50 साल की भारत की नींव को रखने वाला है। ये जो टर्म है ये इस प्रकार के देश में बदलाव लाएगा और हमारी देश की विकास की गाड़ी को ऐसी बुलेट ट्रेन वाली पटरी पर डालेगा कि हमको कोई रोक नहीं पाएगा। और आज भी हम देख रहे हैं, हम तो देखिए 11वीं अर्थव्यवस्था से 5वीं बने, 2027 में हम तीसरी अर्थव्यवस्था बनेंगे, 2047 में विकसित भारत की ओर हमको जाना है और हम 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी अभी बनने जा रहे हैं। हम कहते हैं 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी बनना है, लेकिन दुनिया के जो पंडित हैं वो कहते हैं कि भारत 9 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी बनने जा रहा है 2030 तक। तो एक प्रकार से अनप्रेसिडेंटेड इस प्रकार के तेजी से हमारा विकास हो रहा है। मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि हर एक देश के हिस्ट्री में एक वाटरशेड मूवमेंट आता है, एक ऐसा समय आता है कि जो समय उस देश की तकदीर को डिफाइन करता है वो समय ये है।
आपने आंसर दिया, इसलिए 2-3 सवाल फटाफट मैं आपसे पूछ लेता हूं। 370 पार कॉन्फिडेंस है कि ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस है?
100% कॉन्फिडेंस है।
ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस?
ना बिल्कुल नहीं।
पक्का 400 पार कहना कॉन्फिडेंस है, ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस?
बिल्कुल कॉन्फिडेंस है।
आपने बुलेट ट्रेन की बात की, पटरी पे आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही?
आ गई।
कब?
जल्दी दौड़ेगी। जो उद्धव जी ने बुलेट ट्रेन को रोक के रखा था वो सारी रुकावटें हमने दूर कर दी, सारा एक्विजिशन हमने कर दिया, काम बड़ी तेजी से चल रहा है। उसका फर्स्ट फेज, क्योंकि गुजरात में काम रुका नहीं था तो हमसे आगे चले गए काम में, तो वहां पहले दौड़ेगी, लेकिन दौड़ के आना तो मुंबई है। मुंबई आए से वो ट्रेन को कोई दूसरा गंतव्य तो है नहीं, तो जल्दी मुंबई तक भी आएगी।
मुंबई तक आएगी। 1 ट्रिलियन महाराष्ट्र पहले कि उत्तर प्रदेश पहले?
देखिए, इसमें तो किसी के मन में सवाल ही नहीं आना चाहिए, क्योंकि उत्तर प्रदेश बहुत पीछे है। देखिए, बहुत मुझे खुशी है उत्तर प्रदेश जैसा राज्य 1 ट्रिलियन की बात करता है और पूरी ताकत के साथ वो उतरे, लेकिन देश में 1 ट्रिलियन की पहली सब नेशनल एंटिटी ये महाराष्ट्र ही होगा, क्योंकि हम लोग इस साल 500 ट्रिलियन पार कर जाएंगे। बाकी लोग हमसे बहुत पीछे अभी।
तो 29 तक हो जाएगा?
हम लोगों, देखिए, अगर हम लोग बिजनेस यूजुअल भी करें तब भी 32 तक हम $1 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी होंगे। लेकिन अभी हम लोगों ने जो एक इकोनॉमिक काउंसिल गठित की थी, इकोनॉमिक एडवाइजरी कमेटी, उसने एक रोड मैप हमको दिया है। जिस रोड मैप पर हम चलना चाहते हैं, उस रोड मैप पर अगर हम चलेंगे तो 2029 में हम लोग $1 ट्रिलियन सब नेशनल इकोनॉमी बनेंगे।
पायलट फडणवीस रहेंगे महाराष्ट्र में?
देखिए, फडणवीस पायलट रहे या फडणवीस झंडी दिखाने वाले रहे, फडणवीस रहेंगे और फडणवीस जहां भी रहेंगे महाराष्ट्र के हित में ही काम करेंगे।
लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी।
थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir, for taking out the time once again. But before I let you go, I also want to take this opportunity to call upon and invite all our change makers who are with us today to join us on stage for a photo opportunity. I would also like to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Sanjay Agarwal back on stage with us, founder, MD and CEO of AU Small Finance Bank. Would request all our change makers to join us on stage for a photo opportunity with the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Let's give it up one more time for all our change makers. How can we do this without the face of our campaign? Gul, please join us on stage. Gul, this photo will be incomplete without you. Please join us on stage. Round of applause once again for all our change makers. Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji, sir, thank you once again for taking out the time. You coming means a lot for us, lending support for our campaign, for our work. Your support continues to inspire us to be the agents of change we thrive to be. you to all our change makers. We request you to settle back. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we in fact have reached the halfway mark of our proceedings. We have many more inspirational stories that will follow. But I do want to stop here for a minute because we want to play out some very special messages of support that have come for this campaign. Let's play out those messages, please.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, while I could not be there in person with you all, I didn't want to miss this unique opportunity to say a few words, to commend this very noble Badlaav Humse Hai initiative. It's really wonderful to know that these change makers who are making a real difference around us are being celebrated here today. Their resilience and drive to address social, economic and environmental challenges reminds us of all the power we each hold to create positive change in today's world. I hope we all can learn from them and do our bit to help shape a better future for India. My congratulations to Network 18 and AU Small Finance Bank for bringing these change makers into the limelight. Watching these heroes embody the true spirit of Badlaav is truly inspiring and motivating. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm not being able to be there in person, but I specifically asked so that I can send a message. It's a great initiative, this Badlaav Humse Hai, and congratulations to all of you as change makers. Change makers is what India needs. If we want to be in the top 3 economies in the world, if we want to be a $10 trillion economy, how we all live as an integrated society is incredible. I have always maintained that the wealth capital in India is about giving back. And it's not just about donations and money. I think the volunteering, the ability for small NGOs to make a difference, for individuals wanting to give back is really the core of what India needs. And for all of us to have our rural, urban, the privileged versus the not so privileged coming together. So firstly, incredible work from all you change makers. As my own narrative, I started giving back when I was at the early age of 20, 21, 22 with volunteering. Again, I think most people today feel philanthropy and giving back is about having a bank balance or having white hair. Neither of them are true, and all of you all are real recipients of that and the examples of how best this gets done. So I want to congratulate all of you. I want to thank Network 18 and the AU Small Finance Bank for this incredible initiative, and I wish you all the best. Again, apologies for not being there.
We'd like to thank Mr. Amitabh Kant and Roni Screwwala for sending out these messages. They will be huge support for all our change makers. Now, these inspiring messages are the perfect cue for me to take this evening's proceedings forward. And we will have our next set of awards shortly. I would request Anand Narsimhan, Managing Editor, Special Projects, Network 18, to join us back on stage. At this point, I would also like to call back on stage Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, Founder, MD and CEO at AU Small Finance Bank for a very special fireside chat, and then we'll have the awards that will follow.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Ashwin, आज 4 wicket ले गया sir.
अच्छा ले लेंगे start हो गया. I'm not watching today, right?
They bowled out India bowled out England for 218. Kuldeep got 5, Ashwin got 4.
Oh, so you have researched on me a lot, right?
No, मुझे किसी ने बताया आपको क्रिकेट पसंद है. So I thought let me ask you.
पसंद नहीं है खेला है.
खेले भी हैं आप. So when life throws googlies at you,
sorry,
how do you play them?
Sorry, yeah?
When life throws googlies at you.
Yeah. No, you have to read in the air, right? So, because my coaches told me in my early days of playing that googly, cannot be read after वो थप्पा खा जाती है उसके बाद नहीं पकड़ सकते. You have to read on the hand, right? So we need to understand the whole ecosystem, right? And Googly is coming every day, Anand, and it's coming from last 28 years for me. So I think you have to read it well, you read it in air, read it in, by the system, right, rather than ball aane ke baad nahi khel payega. So it will detect early, right, that's my sense.
See, T20 was a very unknown territory for a lot of test players and ODI players.
Correct.
ODI was unknown territory for a lot of test players.
Correct.
But they all adapted. When you stepped into small finance, into the areas, that was unknown territory.
Correct.
So how did you do it? Why did you do it?
So, sometimes ignorance is the blessing, right? So, of course, I feel always that I'm a risk guy in that sense that I can read the situation well, I can read people well, I can read entire, I would say, the opportunities or challenges well, that is why we have reached to this level. But, sometimes, you have to ignore many things, and you to away from the noises, you cannot be prejudiced, right? So, when I started here, and I started meeting those customers who were not so well-to-do, they were informal kind of segment, no documents and all those things. But when you touch and feel, you can figure out people's intention, right? And people's ability to do something their own. And we just back those people, those intent, and and in the end pray the God, right? Ki yaar, sab kuch acha hoga, right? So correct. I think it's backing yourself and also believing that world is a nicer place. Itna bhi kyun mistrust karenge yaar, And so I think as of now, when we innovate many things, you have to back yourself and trust the system also, and ho jayega fir.
Let me ask you, this part that you said, that there is hope, not everybody is bad.
Yeah.
और हर कोई आदमी बुरा नहीं होता या व्यक्ति बुरा नहीं
नहीं कोई नहीं बुरा नहीं होता
हाँ so I'm asking you one of these change makers, some instance that you remember from early on which said this is worth it, let me continue on this path.
Yeah, so to be very honest, I still remember in my early days of lending that I met one guy on the road and he's having 10,000-20,000 rupees as his, what do you call, the savings and and he just expressed that, मेरे पास auto होता तो मैं, I'd be very good, but I don't have that money to buy the auto and all those things, so तो उसने बोला कितने का ऑटो आता है यार, तो उसने कहा 1 लाख रुपए का आता है सर. How much amount you have? I have only 20,000. So I think, and I actually lent him 80,000 rupees, and that was the first loan when we started doing three-wheeler funding, back when maybe early, I would say early 2000. So, and then that same guy, performed very well from one auto to 3-4 autos, and then taxi, then housing loan, and other loans, right? And he came out from that poverty, right? And I think that kind of backing, and that kind of intent, and honestly, Anand, that guy was not a Jaipur guy. He was coming from Bihar, looking to build something, but his intent was so high, his commitment was so high, and his entrepreneurial journey, I will say spirit was so high that you need to back all those people, right? And, to be very honest, because हमें लगता है दुनिया बहुत अच्छी है as a lender, right? Because in our 100 cases, if we fund, only 1 or 2 people default. 98% people always pay you on time, right? Maybe delay in payments, but that's not a default, right? So that is why I always say to the world that world is very beautiful place, world is very nicer place. We need to come together to sail through, right?
See, one of the change makers, she's there. She said she got funded by AU Bank in Dhani that she started her business. She's sitting there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So when such people come to you or to your bank, what's the first response?
No.
Or how do you assess credit risk, if I may ask you?
No, of course. So before bank, it was easy to back everybody on the road because NBFCs were not so regulated, right? We can have our own judgment by touch and feel, the kind of intent you have, the kind of money you have, the kind of business you want to operate. तो आनंद एक प्रिंसिपल होता था मेरा जब मैं लैंड करता था कि यार लेट्स नॉट सी कि लोग अच्छे हैं नहीं है, कस्टमर इज गुड और बैड, लेट्स जज कि खराब नहीं है, लेट्स रूल दैट आउट Let's not rule that he's good or not, because to take a call that he's good or not is good, is difficult. But to take a call that he's not good is an easy call.
It's an easy
So
call.
I think my journey started from those kind of principles and philosophy. That is why we are able to back so many people, और उसमें से एक दो लोग खराब हुए होंगे, it's fine. But as soon as we become bank, we are regulated, we have a public deposit now backing us, and we can't empower everybody to take this kind of decision, right? In the end, we are a custodian of trust, right? So now it's more regulated that you should have this kind of credit scores, you should have this kind of business in place, you should have this kind of money in place, and then we can only fund, right? But still, at AU, because our design principle is this, that our 25% branches are in unbanked, our 50% loan has to be lesser than 25 lakh. That design principle is helping us to support lot many people like this. But of course, that older model of touch and feel, and I'm really missing that, honestly.
You're missing that word. I wanted to ask you that because, like you said, it's very difficult to figure out कि कोई व्यक्ति अच्छा है कि नहीं है.
Yes.
But it's easier to figure out कि वो खराब है.
खराब है क्या यार?
खराब है क्या?
You can go to police station. अभी सर बैठे थे ना विवेक सर. We would have gone to him कि खराब तो नहीं है ना ये.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's the principle that you're working on. But how do you then balance this out? Have you ever seen somebody who's come out with some amazing drive? यार इसको कुछ करना है, and there is a desperation, and you see the drive, but you can't help this person because you're regulated, because you got to work in a framework. So how do you balance that?
So of course, so if you ask me as a person, I would say that I have a two role to play. As a CEO, of a bank, I may not say, I have to say him, I can't help you out beyond a point because it's a public money with me and I'm a custodian of trust, right? But this is my personal money. I can advise you. I can help you out. I can send you to my friends in BFC. They will support you out. So, but मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आपका intention is there, your character is there, your purpose is there. You will find the way. It's not about Sanjay Agarwal helping you out. Somebody will help you out.
Has it ever happened that somebody from your office or somebody in your staff writes to you or calls you up or comes to your cabinet and says, boss, isko help karna hi hai, no matter what?
Yeah. So I have to give my personal check.
This is a phenomenal case. We have to.
I have to give my personal check. If it's not under the rules of bank, I need to give my personal check, and I will give that. Don't worry. So that's why my own foundation and many other things we do it right in that way. Because Anand, one thing is very clear. Bank can't fund risk capital.
Correct.
We can't put, because I think everybody has a bank account, right? And you all expect that bank to return your money on your call, right? And we don't give money on call, right?
Correct.
So, but at least as a banker, we need to protect your money, right? It's not our private money, right? So that's very clear, Anand, in my whole philosophy, that in spite of being an entrepreneur of 28 years, right? In spite of building myself from nowhere, I can't put public money in any kind of challenge.
True, but you say you pledge your private money. You put your own personal money,
Yeah,
write your
yeah.
own personal check.
Of course.
But जब कोई भरोसा तोड़ता है, then how easy or difficult is it to bring back that belief? Does that one person out or two people out of 98,
No.
does that stay on, or do you think of the remaining 90?
यदि ऐसा किया होता, तो from nowhere from 28 years, I started with one customer. We are now close to 10 million customers, right? भरोसा तो चलना पड़ेगा यार. भरोसा ही चल गया दुनिया खत्म हो जाएगी भाई. So we need to trust system. We need to trust people. We need to trust intent. Because sometime we might have a default, but if you go deep in that default, you will figure out that it is not because of intent. It is not because of normal circumstances, right? He would have gone to difficult circumstances, and respect that. I think days are gone when there was a crony capitalism. People were more dadagiri, right? कि मेरे पास पैसा भी है मैं नहीं दूंगा. I don't find that kind of challenge nowadays. I think it's a pure
and do you
business
believe,
failures and all those things, right?
And do you believe at the small finance level, खुददारी बहुत ज़्यादा है? This whole aspect of if I've taken something from somebody, I have to return it. You feel that is there, that
Yeah.
self-respect, conscientiousness?
So one more thing, Anand, I strongly believe that as a human, there is something in every human that if you take a loan or if you take an obligation, you want to repay that. It is not about money. यदि मैंने आप पे एहसान किया है ना, तो आप मेरे को थोड़ा सा वापस चुकाने की कोशिश करते हो, right? And that is why this industry remains so sound and strong. Because can you imagine that, in a 10,000 crore of book, we always speak about 1% loss,
Correct.
So which is nothing in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
And that is a industry phenomena. That's not about AU phenomena or a Rajasthan phenomena or a Maharashtra phenomena. This is across country, across world, right? So I think there is something as a human. जैसे होता है ना कि हम नेगेटिव होते हैं, हम पॉजिटिव होते हैं, हम अच्छे हैं, बुरे हैं. But there is something there in everybody's whole DNA that, if you taken a loan, you want to repay the EMI. And I will give the one example so that I can substance my discussion. Like in COVID time, Anand, there was a specific instruction from Government of India and RBI that you don't have to pay the EMI for 6 months. There was a complete moratorium, right? You don't pay EMI to the banks, right? But can you imagine, in our case, 60% people, 60% customer, right, never opted for a single EMI moratorium. So what that means, they were saying that, if you have money, we'll want to repay you. So if 60% people, in spite of no legal obligation, in spite of clear communication from regulator and the Government of India that you are free to pay, you're free not to pay, and then people are paying it. So that's made me more respectful to my customer that, yaar, ye hai na baat. That is why we give the loan. It's not that we have given a loan or we have assessed you well or we have understood you well. That's why you're paying us. You are paying us because you believe in that. Your karma is that. Your intention is that.
But have you ever gone down quietly to see सच में बदलाव हो रहा है कि नहीं? Is society really turning out to be the
If you ask me, 30 years. So I'm 50, I'm 70 born. And शुरू के 20 साल तो दुनिया समझते नहीं थे ना, only play cricket, right? But as soon as I came into business, right, and started doing my own studies from 90 onwards, I'm always amazed by the unbelievable story of India, right? What now, good 34 years, right? Governments ho, regulators ho, public ho, consumer ho, everything has changed so much, from those days to nowadays, right? So that badlaav hi to ho raha hai yaar. Matlab, I've seen how the banking become privatized and banking has become so big. I have seen insurance becoming privatized, has become so big. I have seen how tech has evolved in the last 30 years. I have seen how real estate sector has evolved in the last 30 years. I have seen how compliance has gone to next level. There's a rule of the law. पहले तो कोई हिंदुस्तान में होता ही नहीं था यार, honestly, because हम नहीं थे as a country, right? But I think now the way we are determined, the way we are confident, the way we are looking for next level of growth, right? Or next level of inclusive growth, ये सब बदलाव हो रहा है, right? Just see the stories which we have seen today is mind-boggling, right? पौंडीचेरी में कुछ कर रहे हैं, और महिला कमांडो भी चल रहा है, राजस्थान में भी कुछ चल रहा है, and on their own, right? Nobody is inspiring them. Nobody is putting a condition to them, right?
So you see there is a story for us as a nation going forward when the Prime Minister is talking about 10 years, Viksit Bharat by 2047. Is that all you think political kite flying or a big balloon of hope, or do you really see that on ground? And I'm asking you this because you are into small finance, you're talking to that part of the world, that part of the country where most of us urban denizens have never been. We don't even know what's going on there.
No, Anand, no, okay. So why I'm so excited about India is that India has a character. Let's not bring politics here. India has a character.
Okay.
We had Hindu Raj, we have a Muslim Raj, we have a British Raj. Now we are independent as a country,
Swaraj,
right?
Yeah.
So we have a character, right? We have a character around our yoga. We have a character around our tech. We have a character around our cricket team. We have a character around our Bollywood. We have a character around our, politics, I think India is 100% democratic setup, right? I have seen I've been in Rajasthan, right? I have seen 2 BJP government, 3 Congress government, but everything moves. हम लोग noise में बहुत रहते हैं कई बार आप लोगों के साथ, but I think it's not so noisy country. It's very plain vanilla country and everybody is fighting for them. पर ऐसे होता है यार, मतलब 140 करोड़ लोग हैं, आज सब कुछ अच्छा नहीं होने वाला है. But the whether अच्छा हो रहा है, the answer is yes, you know. And I believe after US, maybe a little bit Europe, if you have a character in this world, this country has. You know, we have a diverse, we are north, south, east, west. We have our own theories, we have our own likings, our food is being celebrated, our culture is being celebrated, our yoga is being celebrated. What else you want? What else you want, right? मेरे एक छोटा सा सिटी है जयपुर, हम पिंक सिटी करके बेचते रहते हैं यार, you know. So and पिंक सिटी भी कब बना, right? 250 years back. But whenever I go to international investors, I always say them, come to Jaipur, we'll show you pink city. You know, because pink generally Europe का word है, right? But pink is in Jaipur, right? Correct. You eat our food, take our hospitality, understand our people, you know. So there is a character. यार लोग कब रोते हैं इंडिया में?
So politics aside,
इंडिया में लोग कब रोते हैं?
This character and this talent will
if
take
you
us
don't
forward.
read newspaper, लोग नहीं रो रहे हैं.
लोग नहीं रो रहे.
बहुत ज्यादा ना अवेयर क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं. क्यों कैसे हो कैसे हो कैसे हो? अरे भाई सब अच्छा है यार, तो पूछ क्यों रहे हो? ज्यादा पूछोगे तो बोलते हैं खराब है.
मैं आपकी बात को समझ सकता हूँ क्योंकि मैं उदयपुर में पढ़ा हूँ. 4 साल मैं उदयपुर में पढ़ा हूँ, स्कूलिंग मैंने वहाँ की. तो वहाँ भी सब उस वक्त कुछ भी ग्राउंड पर सब चल ही रहा है.
एवरीथिंग इज मूविंग
और छोटी छोटी खुशियों में लोग खुश हैं.
एंड बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, इज नॉट दैट आज मूव कर रहा है यार. दिस मूविंग फ्रॉम लास्ट सो मेनी इयर्स.
करेक्ट.
You know, पहले किसी ने और कुछ किया होगा, आज कुछ और किया है, आगे वाले भी कुछ और करेंगे. बट देयर इज सम सेंस ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग इन दिस कंट्री. यू नो, हम थोड़े सेंसिबल लोग हैं. दैट्स द आई थिंक बिगेस्ट हॉलमार्क फॉर इंडिया, राइट? हम लोग ऐसे वैसे नहीं है, लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर नहीं है.
सो एज लॉन्ग एज वी कैन होल्ड दैट सेंसिबिलिटी विद ऑल ऑफ अस.
और ओवर अवेयर भी नहीं अपने बारे में.
ओवर अवेयर भी नहीं.
हाँ, जैसे यूएस में चले जाओ तो ऐसा था सभी आदमी यार, अरे भाई तुझसे बात कैसे कर सकते हैं यार. सो यू नीड टू बी रीजनेबल टू टॉक, राइट?
करेक्ट. Ladies and gentlemen, phenomenal conversation with Sanjay Agarwal. But we got to get moving.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm going to request you to stay back, Sanjay ji. We've got to take the proceedings to celebrate our changemakers. That continues.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal. Thank you, Anand. I will request both of you to stay back on the stage with us because it is now time for us to move forward as far as felicitating our change makers are concerned. But before I bring you our next story, I would also now like to invite on stage Mr. Krishna Prakash, Chief of Maharashtra Police Force 1, to also join us on stage for this round of felicitations. Huge round of applause, please. Our first story in this round of felicitation is a story of Upmanyu Patil from Maharashtra and his initiative with Swayam Shikshan Prayog. Let's take a look at their story.
When we started working in Usmanabad in 1998, it was a drought-prone region where farmer suicides were rampant. To improve the situation, we saw only one possible solution: to empower the women from every family in this village. We decided to bring women into the small micro enterprises, support them in terms of market finance and so on. We have started identifying more and more opportunities for women to come into the businesses. So it's like water, sanitation, health, and agriculture is a major sector where there are a lot of opportunities. There is a realization came from women itself, like when we are talking about the environment protection, why not we see like we are bringing more and more climate angle into our work.
Huge round of applause. Could we have Mr. Upmanyu Patil on stage, please? Let's continue with a round of applause for all the work that our change makers continue to put out, and their stories continue to inspire all of us. Congratulations, sir, for the exceptional work that you and your team have been putting out. Our next story comes from Ladakh, and how Lama Chogyal with his entire team and his initiative with Ladakh Heart Foundation is helping people in that region fighting the heart disease. Let's take a look at their story.
This community had lots of problems, which congenital heart disease and rheumatic heart disease. Most of the majority of the people, they don't know much about the health, how to take care of themselves. The idea of the heart hospital come to my mind after I saw the number of patients, especially young children with rheumatic heart disease at the Ladakh Bodh Bihara in Delhi. Back in 1997, they had traveled to Delhi for treatment because of lack of facilities here in Leh. I know I had to do something. I consulted with local physician in Ladakh to inquiry about the prevention, what could be done. Awareness is very important. We're trying to give them, educate them. We have almost more than a few thousand people had taken benefit from our organization. Our foundation our goal is to continue this organization to help for the communities and to help for the people who really need this organization.
Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Could I now please request Lama Chogyal to join us on stage, please? Congratulations, sir, not just to you, but to your entire team. Let's now move on to the south of the country. We now bring you the story of R. Manikandan from Tamil Nadu, who's doing some exceptional work in the area of water conservation, and this story comes from around Coimbatore. Let's take a look at this story.
A severe drought hit Coimbatore in 2017. I saw all the lakes and ponds in the city drying up. I knew that something had to be done to save our centuries-old water bodies that were built by the Chola Empire. I put up a post on social media asking people to come to clean the 264-acre Perur lake. 15 people turned up. Next day, 200. And the week after that, nearly 450 people, including young children, came to help us clean the lake. Since that day, we have not looked back. In Bellalore, which is the southern part of Coimbatore, people had completely misused the lake. After cleaning and desilting the lake, we planted trees around it. And water came after a long wait of 17 years. We have come this far because 65,000 people, my registered volunteers, stand with us with a mission to save every drop, clean every riverside and revive these water bodies with compassion and zeal.
Huge round of applause, please. I would now like to invite on stage R. Manikandan and his team to please join us. Huge round of applause. gentlemen, and your entire team for the exceptional work that you have been doing. Congratulations once again. Let's now bring you our next story. And our next change maker comes from Assam. Dr. Sunil Kaul and the entire team at Meeta are helping destigmatize mental illness. Let's take a look at their story.
When we came to this area, there was practically no medical care here. And it's around that time when I had gone to meet an organization in Guwahati, which works only with the mentally ill. And they told me that a lot of patients are coming from my area. When I came back and I found that there were plenty of mentally ill. And so that's where the first camp was held after a bit of training of our staff. Gradually, our team did a good job, and very fast, from 20 patients in the first camp, we were jumping to 100. Our own mental health program then started in 2010. Initially, it was not even called Meeta. One thing after another, and it's reached a stage where Meeta is what we call an alliance of partners. By the time we reached 400, 500 patients in this place, we realized we had to raise a lot of money to keep giving the doctors their fees. We designed the app in such a fashion that a social worker could record all the symptoms with a minimal amount of training. I think by now we must have reached out to close to 20,000-25,000 patients.
Could we have Dr. Sunil Kaul on stage, please? Huge round of applause for Team Meeta and Dr. Sunil Kaul and his entire team. Entire team. We now present to you the story of Dr. Bharadwaj and his initiative with Apna Ghar, which provides refuge to people who are homeless. Let's take a look at their story.
अपना घर का जो मुख्य उद्देश्य है, जो लोग रोड पर पड़े हुए हैं, जिनको कोई संभालने वाला नहीं है और उनको इंतजार है कि उनको कोई भोजन खिलाए, कोई दवाई दे, कोई अपनाए, कोई कहे मैं हूं ना, ऐसे व्यक्ति असहाय हालत में दम न तोड़े, उनके लिए अपना घर कॉन्सेप्ट की स्थापना की गई। यहाँ पर प्रभुजनों को हर तरह की चिकित्सा मिल पाए, उसके लिए 26 तरह के होम माता बहनों के लिए हैं, 26 तरह के चाचा भैया दादा के लिए हैं। सभी तरह के प्रभुजनों के लिए अलग अलग होम है। इस तरह की तो फैसिलिटेट करते हैं बिल्डिंग को। अब तक 25,500 प्रभुजी को तो हिंदुस्तान का कोई ऐसा जिला नहीं होगा जिसमें हमने ठीक करके यहाँ से न गए हों। हम इंडिविजुअल एक एक को देखते हैं, एक एक की संवेदनाओं को, एक एक की जरूरत को। माता बहनों के लिए सिलाई सेंटर है, उसमें 60,000 यूनिफॉर्म बनती हैं अपना घर में, सभी सेंटरों के लिए, प्रभुजनों के लिए। दोना पत्तल बनाने की मशीन है, अगरबत्ती बनाने की मशीन है। 1 से 1.5 साल में स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री के रूप में डेवलप कर देंगे प्रभुजनों के लिए। उससे जो भी रेवेन्यू आएगा, वो रेवेन्यू प्रभु जी के ऊपर ही व्यय होगा।
A very heartwarming story indeed. Unfortunately, Dr. Bharadwaj could not be with us for this evening today, but we would still like to extend our congratulations and commend the exceptional work that has been done not just by him, but by his entire team. With that, we now move to the last award in this set of felicitations. And this one is about Humoya Sports, which comes from Delhi NCR, that is demonstrating the transformative power of sports. Let's take a look at their story.
Play is the first form of learning for any child. It is actually the first thing that a child starts doing to build their exploratory skills, to build their social skills, life skills, make friends. But unfortunately for a child with disability, it becomes the first form of exclusion. During my college days, I had a major sports injury due to which I was bedridden for a very long time. And that gave me an experience and an understanding of the challenges that people with disabilities face. When I started Umoya, it was through a year of pilots which I did in 2017, where we worked with a lot of therapy centers with individual children with disabilities. So we wanted play and sports as a medium to break these barriers, to create a narrative of empowering children with disabilities. In the process, they actually start learning skills of numeracy, colors, numbers, and such fundamental things which are very essential for a child's overall development. In order for sports to become more accessible for more children with disabilities, the most essential is to create a safe, inclusive space for children where they feel accepted. And second is to have a mindset where we are celebrating diversity and to be able to include all children.
Indeed, leaves a smile on all our faces. Could we have Aditya KV on stage, please? Huge round of applause. Representative from the team. Huge round of applause, please.
Well, sir, I need to ask you something. Please come. Big round of applause to our category winners and this set of change makers, please. Phenomenal. Please. Sanjay ji, please come here. Sir, दूर रहना पड़ता है ना, खाकी से डर लगता है कि बाइसेप से डर लग रहा है. So what do you think about our initiative here and some of the stories? I think you really like the story from Kovai, you know? Manikandan and his team, what they're doing. Phenomenal work. Shout out to you. Parthigal again.
So actually, they are making an area which is marshy and dirty. They are making that full of colors by creating it a hub of butterflies, you know. So, एक शायर ने कहा है कि तुमने चाहा ही नहीं, हालात बदल सकते थे. तुम्हारी आंखों के अश्क मेरी आंखों से निकल सकते थे. तुम तो ठहरे ही रहे झील के पानी की तरह, दरिया बनते तो बहुत दूर निकल सकते थे. So all the initiatives right now, the sporting activity has been shown that it has been actually imparted to those who are spastic and all, and they are adopting to it so very quickly, and they are doing well. So that is also a miracle, you know. Sports or sporting activity can actually do miracles to all sort of people of all age groups, of all genders. Many a time we think that for distressing us, we should go for the night parties, and now it is the phenomena in the cities. But on the contrary, if we go for early sleeping and waking up in the Sunday morning early and go for a run, go for a cycle, go for some exercise, it makes your mind healthier and your body healthier as well. So the people who are thinking that they are healthier or they are healthier than those spastic people, especially able people, they are not, if they are not understanding this fact. इस देश को, इस समाज को अगर सशक्त बनाना है, तो खुद को भी सशक्त बनाना होगा, ये जरूरी हो जाता है।
नहीं, बहुत सही कह रहे हैं, और तभी हम बदलाव ला सकते हैं। मैं आपसे एक चीज पूछना चाहूंगा, आपकी लाइफ में एक चीज जो आप बदलना चाहते हैं, या एक आपके करियर में एज ए प्रोफेशनल, एज एन आईपीएस ऑफिसर, एक बदलाव जो आप लाना चाहते हैं?
देखिए, मैं हमेशा फिटनेस पे बदलाव लाना चाहता हूं। मेरा यह मानना है कि जो चुस्त, जो तंदुरुस्त पुलिस है, वही जो फिट है, वही समर्थ है और वही सशक्त है। और ये इसलिए है, वाई आई एम सेइंग सो, चरक संहिता ऑल्सो सेज शरीरम माध्यम खलु धर्म साधनम। इट मीन्स शरीर जो है, बॉडी जो है, वो फर्स्ट एंड पैरामाउंट इंस्ट्रूमेंट टू परफॉर्म ऑल आवर ड्यूटीज। यहां धर्म का मतलब ड्यूटीज है, धर्म का मतलब संप्रदाय नहीं है। जिसे हम रिलीजन बोलते हैं वो संप्रदाय के मामले में भारतीय संस्कृति में उपयोग होता है, और जिसे हम धर्म बोलते हैं वो कर्तव्य के मामले में धार्यति इति धर्म, जो हम धारण करते हैं वो हमारा धर्म है, हमारा कर्तव्य है। तो ड्यूटी अगर परफॉर्म करना है, तो पुलिस को भी अपनी ड्यूटी सच्चे तरीके से परफॉर्म करना है। तो आई वॉन्ट दैट एवरीवन शुड हैव द कॉन्फिडेंस ऑन द पुलिस, क्योंकि जैसा कि हमारे सीपी साहब अभी फरमा कर गए कि हमारे पास आने वाले को ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि दे आर एंटरिंग इनटू अ पार्क। आई विल से दे शुड फील लाइक दे आर एंटरिंग इनटू अ टेंपल। एक मंदिर में प्रवेश कर रहे हैं, एक इबादत गाह में जा रहे हैं। वाई? बिकॉज समटाइम्स इवन द मंदिर, मास एटसेट्रा आर ऑल्सो क्लोज्ड, बट आवर पुलिस स्टेशंस never close. So we should keep ourselves fit, and you have mentioned about it, that one officer after working for 12 hours was going for working out. I am really proud of that officer, or that policeman, whoever is. So our cutting edge police level will earn the confidence of the people when they are fit, when they are agile, when they are look fresh and happy. So
when they look like Mr. Krishna Prakash, so that net वही है. But the fact is, you said कि अंदर ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि पार्क में जा रहे हैं, किसी अच्छे से मिल रहे हैं, मंदिर में जा रहे हैं, तो वहां पुजारी दिखता है, यहाँ पर ये देखिए सिक्स पैक और इतने बड़े डोलों के साथ खड़ा, बताओ ऐसी मूछें लेके खड़े हो जाएंगे, बोले बताओ तुम्हारी तकलीफ क्या है। सर आप हो गए, आप ही, अब आप देख लो। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
पुलिस वालों को फिट देखना चाहते हैं, वो फिट हैं तो हिट हैं।
Thank you very much. Big round of applause. Thank you.
Would like to thank our distinguished guests. Would like to thank Mr. Agarwal as well as Mr. Prakash. Thank you so much, sir. Anand, we'll request you to stay back on stage with us. Now, these change makers and their stories not just serve as inspiration, but also make us ponder upon the change the world really needs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to introduce two very special gentlemen. The first person really needs no introduction, but I'm going to try my best. He's an actor par excellence, dons many hats of a producer as well. Please give it up for Sunil Shetty. We would also like to take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Anand Kumar, Padma Shri and a stalwart in the field of literature and education on stage for what I can only imagine will be a very interesting session. This will be moderated by Anand.
आनंद जी, आपको देखकर बहुत आनंद आ गया। सच में आप जो कर रहे हैं उसके लिए आपको पहले ही नमन। Thank you very much. He's done some phenomenal work educating, training, teaching youngsters, students to a level where they're all across the country today serving the country at various positions. So phenomenally proud of what you're doing. Thank you so much. And this person next to me is an inspiration. Every time I look at him, I think, oh my God, I got to work so much harder to even get close to how he's looking in terms of his fitness and his discipline that he follows.
Yeah, but that's my age, no? The advantage of age. I'm a young boy. I'm just 63, so it works.
ये लो अब और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में डाल दिया. But आनंद जी, मैं सबसे सुनील जी, with your permission, I'd like to start with him. आपने जब शुरू किया कि मुझे इनको पढ़ाना है, बहुत बड़ा ध्येय था, आसान नहीं था. कैसे किया? वो मनोव्यथा, वो मानसिक अवस्था आपकी उस वक्त क्या थी कि जब आपने डिसाइड किया वही ये करना ही है?
दरअसल में आप लोग फिल्म भी देखे होंगे ज्यादातर लोग, फिर भी हम बताना चाहेंगे कि जब कैम्ब्रिज से ऑफर आया था हायर एजुकेशन के लिए, हमारे पास फेयर भी नहीं था फ्लाइट का. हमारे पिताजी पोस्टल डिपार्टमेंट में लो पेड एम्प्लॉय थे, चिट्ठी बांटने छाटने का काम करते थे. तो उस स्थिति में पिताजी बहुत दुखी रहते थे कि बेटा को हम नहीं भेज रहे हैं. बावजूद इसके कि हम लोग कहते थे कि आप टेंशन मत लीजिए पिताजी, अरे पटना नहीं तो दिल्ली में पढ़ लेंगे, छोड़िए इंग्लैंड कैम्ब्रिज, बहुत समझाते थे. लेकिन उनका सडन हार्ट अटैक हो गया और हम कैम्ब्रिज नहीं जा पाए. घर की जिम्मेवारियां हम पर आ गई. उसके बाद कुछ जगहों पर पढ़ाया. हमारे लिए पूरा खुला मैदान था कि बहुत पैसे कमा सकते थे कोचिंग सेंटर में पढ़ाकर या अपना बड़ा कोचिंग खोल करके. लेकिन फिर हम सोचे कि ऐसे बच्चे जो कि कहीं नहीं पढ़ सकते, उनके पास कुछ भी नहीं, तो सोचा कि ठीक है, अपने भाई प्रमोद से रिक्वेस्ट किया कि आओ हमारे साथ जुड़ो. माताजी खाना घर में बनाने लगी और 30 बच्चों को साथ में रखकर पढ़ाने लगा. और पढ़ाते पढ़ाते मैं आज आपके पास हूं, सुनील शेट्टी जैसे बड़े कलाकार के सामने हूं.
सुपर 30 3,000 हो गए या 30,000 हो गए? अभी कितना हो गए सुपर 30?
सुपर 30 पे सैकड़ों स्टूडेंट पढ़ के चले गए हैं. लेकिन इस अभी आने वाले टाइम में हम लोग ऑनलाइन के जरिए ज्यादा से ज्यादा जरूरतमंद लोग पढ़ पाए, वो सबसे बड़ी बात है. लेकिन उससे भी बड़ी बात है कि सुपर 30 के सक्सेस के बाद अभी मैं यहां बैठा हुआ था, एक बंधु आए, एक सज्जन आए और बताए कि मैं सर आपसे इंस्पिरेशन लेकर हमने भी बच्चों को पढ़ाना यूपीएससी के लिए शुरू किया और आज मैं यहाँ अवार्ड लेने आया हूँ. तो ऐसे ऐसे देश में हजारों लाखों कोशिशें हो रही हैं. इससे बड़ी बात हमारे लिए और बड़ी उपलब्धि क्या हो सकती है?
इतना नाम, इतनी शोहरत, इतना सब कुछ करके भी आप इतने सादगी कैसे आप रख पाते हैं? ये आप मुझे बता दीजिए.
सादगी हमारी महानता ग्रेटनेस नहीं है भैया, मजबूरी है. टाई कोट पहन के बड़ा कसा हुआ अनुभव करेंगे. एक टीचर आदमी ऐसे ही मस्त रहते हैं, चप्पल उप्पल पहन के चलते रहते हैं, खुश रहते हैं. तो दूसरों को दिखाने के लिए, दूसरों को खुश करने के लिए हम तरह तरह के कपड़े पहने, वो हम अच्छा नहीं समझते. जिसमें सहूलियत हो, जिसमें आराम हो, जिसमें मन प्रसन्न हो, जिसमें आनंद और आनंद ही हो, वही काम करते रहिए.
Anna, how easy or difficult is it to have attitude like this? To serve without any expectation?
I think it's the beauty of the thought. Yeah. You know, it's thinking about giving. It's the difference between probably a human being and being human. You know, wanting to touch people, wanting to help people grow. And I guess now he is an inspiration, so you have hundreds who are following him, and that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to, you know, have that kind of a mindset where you're happy because you're making money, you're happy because you're doing good for your family, but the fulfillment comes only when you do good for others. And I think that's the feeling that he's got, and that's why he doesn't need a suit, he doesn't need a tie, he doesn't need anything. He's got himself. Congratulations.
But you've also helped a lot of people, quietly.
Try to.
You try not to talk about it much.
No, I think, you know, I've always been taught that give without a mention and accept without ever forgetting. Give and forget and accept and never forget. So I think, you know, that's the upbringing. Parents at home, from the very beginning, the gurus that you believed in, your teachers. My mother-in-law, who ran the Save the Children India earlier, now the Badlaav Foundation, I think she's one person who taught me that giving is everything, and so much that I've learned from her. And seeing the stories here today, and the legacy that they carry for the next generation, it's unbelievable. So it's I guess it's from the family.
Any story that stayed with you, ki, from your early days when you were struggling, or when you became a success, when you saw somebody and said, if that person can do this, so can I?
I think the change in my life came after I became an actor. I got an opportunity to do things. It's not necessary about the charity that you make, but I think it's about the difference that you make. So everybody believes that it's about how much you give, but even if you give your time or you're blessed, but if you give your blessing, maybe it could make a big difference to people, and that's exactly what happened. Because when my mother-in-law started working with Save the Children India then, I joined her because she wanted me to help her, because I was an actor and I'll help her reach the places that she wanted to. One day she called me and said, Sunil, there's this operation that I've undertaken, I want you to help me. I said, Mom, what is it? And she said, I'll tell you, but I'll tell you at the right time. And this was saving 186 girls from the red light area of Kamatirpura in Mumbai, with just the CM, the Commissioner, and her knowing, and then me, and of course a whole lot of NGOs. And overnight, we had 186 girls vamooshed out of there and taken back to their home. We didn't speak about it. None of us spoke about it because of the security that was necessary for those little girls. 20 years, 15 or 18 years later, I get a call from BBC saying, we want to interview you about the charity work that you do. I said, I'm associated with an NGO. They are the ones who do the work. Being an actor, you get the credit. There was this girl who came and she was doing my interview. And she said, sir, I won the best prize for my NGO and I'm out of Nepal. And I said, oh, and she said, you won't remember me. So I said, what do you mean I won't remember you? She says, I was one of the girls that you had saved that night. Wow. So it wasn't me. So I think that operation gave me to believe that if you believe in something and you want to get that done, it can happen. And then my mother-in-law showed me that way. And ever since, I've been trying to do my bit, helping people out with whatever I can and, getting blessings in returns for me, for my children, for all of us.
शिक्षा की बात करते हैं, आपने इतने बच्चों को ट्रेन किया, शिक्षक बनाने में आप कुछ कर रहे हैं, कोशिश कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि अच्छा टीचर भी तो जरूरी है, स्टूडेंट तो हमेशा अच्छे होते हैं, अच्छे टीचर्स के लिए आप कुछ कर रहे हैं? क्या आपको लगता है वो एक बदलाव आवश्यक है? आनंद जी,
आने वाले टाइम में बहुत लोग पूछते हैं कि भाई आनंद कुमार आप क्या पढ़ाते हैं, कैसे पढ़ाते हैं? फिल्म देखे उसमें 1-2 मिनट का था, लेकिन डिटेल सब्जेक्ट को कैसे पढ़ाते हैं ये हम सीखना चाहते हैं या कम से कम देखना चाहते हैं, ताकि आने वाली पीढ़ियों को फायदा हो। तो इसके लिए हम एक आने वाले समय में इस साल के आखिरी तक, तब तक हम तैयार कर लेंगे, कुछ ऐसा कंटेंट तैयार करें जिसको यूट्यूब और कई जगहों पर डालेंगे ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शिक्षक सीख सके। इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि कोई ट्रेनिंग सेंटर तुरंत खोलने जा रहे हैं या तुरंत कुछ बड़ा स्कूल टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग के लिए खोलने जा रहे हैं, लेकिन वर्चुअल माध्यम से हम जा रहे हैं। लेकिन ये बात बहुत जरूरी है कि आज देश में सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत इस बात की है कि अच्छे टीचर्स आए, टीचर्स को ट्रेंड करना सबसे जरूरी है। कहाँ आप देखते हैं कि प्राइवेट स्कूल रहते, इंग्लिश मीडियम के बड़े बड़े शहरों में बड़े स्कूल 5 स्टार होटलों जैसे, कहाँ छप्पर भी नहीं है, कोई रूफ नहीं है, खिड़की दरवाजे नहीं है, टीचर बहुत नहीं जानकार है, ऐसे देहाती स्कूल होते हैं। अब दोनों में इतना गैप होता है, इतना बड़ी खाई होती है जिसको लोग पाट नहीं पाते। तो हमारा सरकार से भी हमेशा ये अनुरोध रहता है, निवेदन रहता है कि टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग पर ध्यान दें। और आप तमाम लोगों के इस मंच के माध्यम से कहना चाहते हैं कि हर माता पिता, चाहे उसका बच्चा छोटा हो, मिडिल एज में हो, बड़ा हो गया हो, चाहता है कि हमारे बच्चे के लिए एक अच्छा टीचर मिल जाए जो इनकी जिंदगी को बदल दे। लेकिन कोई बहुत कम कहिए कि माता पिता होंगे, पेरेंट्स होंगे जो चाहते होंगे हमारा बेटा बेटी भी बड़ा होकर टीचर बने। तो रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे इस बात का कि इस बात को लीजिए सीरियस, समाज में मैसेज दीजिए कि हमारे बच्चे भी आईएएस आईपीएस बने, एक्टर बने, क्रिकेटर बने, एंकर बने, लेकिन अच्छे शिक्षक भी बने। और एक अच्छा शिक्षक क्या कहिए कि मामूली शिक्षक +2 के बच्चों को पढ़ाने वाला, पढ़ाई भी बहुत बड़े यूनिवर्सिटी से मैं नहीं कर पाया, अधूरी रह गई शिक्षा, लेकिन मन से पढ़ाते रह गया तो इतना मान सम्मान मिला। तो एक शिक्षक भी अगर अच्छे तरीके से काम करता है तो बहुत कुछ मिल सकता है। और अंतिम बात ये बोलना चाह रहे हैं कि बहुत भटकाओं के बावजूद बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि भाई पॉलिटिक्स ज्वाइन कर लीजिए, बहुत लोग हमको अभी कहते हैं कि भाई ऑनलाइन का इतना जमाना है, कोविड के बाद से सोचिए कि आज तक सुपर 30 के नाम पर हमने कभी भी बाजारवाद नहीं किया, कहीं फ्रेंचाइजी बांट दिया, कहीं ब्रांच खोल दिया, सैकड़ों करोड़ का ऑफर आया फिल्म के बाद, कोविड के बाद कि आइए ऑनलाइन का, कुछ करना नहीं भैया, खाली टी शर्ट पहन लीजिए, आपको हम पैसा दे देंगे, प्रचार कर दीजिए। हमने आज तक किसी का एक ऐड भी नहीं किया जहां लगा कि खराब है, कोई कुछ नहीं किया। तो सिर्फ ये इतना इसलिए किया कि आप लोग हमारी ताकत है, आप लोग बहुत उम्मीद रखते, हम भी भविष्य में आपकी उम्मीदों पर खरा उतरे, बच्चों को पढ़ाएं, टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग करें, इसके लिए मेहनत जरूर करें।
क्या बात है, क्या बात। अपने बच्चों को टीचर बनाने का भी सोचिए, बहुत बड़ा मैसेज है। ये भी बदलाव हमसे ही शुरू होगा। अंत में अन्ना, आई ऑल्सो वांट टू आस्क यू योर मैसेज, योर थॉट, और लेट मी आस्क यू वन चेंज दैट यू वांट टू मेक।
Well, like Krishna Prakash ji said, get people to believe that fitness and health is in your very own backyard, and you don't need to do anything special to attain that level of fitness that you believe you can attain. And because I also attach mental fitness to this. It's a virtual world that we're living in. Every kid is staying at home, not wanting to get out. There are no games that are played on the outside now. You have children sitting at home and on the video. So I think bring about the change in health and genuinely believe that age is just a number, and that anything is possible, being fit and being a good human being.
I thought you were 36, you said you're 16. So imagine, ladies and gentlemen, Sunil Shetty and Anand Kumar. Put your hands together for them, please. Bahut bahut aabhar. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to request you gentlemen to please stay back.
Gentlemen, thank you for such a fascinating conversation, but I'll request our distinguished guests to stay on stage with us. With that insightful discussion, let us continue with our celebration of all these unsung stories, unsung heroes from across the country with our fourth and final set of felicitations this evening. The first story under this category is of Project Chitrishalbam, started by Jobin S. Kotaram in Kerala, which provides free coaching for specially abled IAS aspirants. Let's take a look at their story.
When I couldn't get into civil services, I started making videos about opportunities that are available for the differently abled students in India. One day, a young girl called me and said, "No one is helping us. There is no financial or technical support for us." That's when I launched Project Chitrishalbam. Around 1.21 crores differently abled people are in India, but their representation in the higher civil services is very less. In the initial days, people were apprehensive about this project because they used to say that, these people, they are wheelchair ridden, they are deaf, they are blind, how they are going to govern India? But I was sure that they are not disabled, but they are specially able. What we are doing is that leadership development and inclusivity. I am doing one-on-one sessions also to support them. Motivation is also an important thing.
story. Let's give it up. I'll request Jobin S. Kotaram to please join us on stage. Huge round of applause, please.
Say something to Anand.
I started this project getting inspiration from Super 30. So it's a wonderful moment for my life because I never thought that I can meet him because I'm following his model. I'm not taking any financial support from anybody, from any organization, but we are taking some extra students and managing with our resources. That is what Anand sir is following. So he is my true inspiration. So it's a great moment for me to meet him personally and get this award from him. And Sunil Shetty sir is my childhood hero. So it's a great opportunity to be here and represent the specially abled people. I believe that even in America, the former president Franklin D. Roosevelt, he had governed United States of America from wheelchair. Then why not specially abled people India? So I am expecting an inclusive society, and thank you so much for Network 18 and AU Small Finance Bank for this great opportunity and this award.
Well, Jobin, I must tell you, the DM of Noida, where I live, is specially abled, and he's just become the badminton champion. So they are there in civil services, and they are doing phenomenally well. So there is no dearth of talent. So all the best to you. Big round of applause for it.
Congratulations once again to you and to your entire team for the fascinating work and that you continue to put out. Our next story is of Shaheen Malik and of the Brave Souls Foundation that is dedicated to supporting survivors of acid attacks and even combating gender-based violence. Let's take a look at their story.
जब मैं अपने कॉलेज की सीढ़ियों से नीचे उतर रही थी तो मैंने देखा सामने एक लड़का मुंह पर रुमाल बांधकर खड़ा है और मैं उसके पास जाकर खड़ी हो गई। मुझे लगा कि वो रोड क्रॉस करने के लिए खड़ा है और जैसे ही मैंने उसकी तरफ देखा अचानक से उसने मेरे चेहरे पर ग्लास भरा हुआ डाल दिया। मेरा नाम शाहीन है और मैं एक एसिड अटैक सर्वाइवर हूँ। एसिड अटैक इज द मोस्ट हीनियस क्राइम क्योंकि ये हर टाइम आपको अपने साथ कैरी करना पड़ता है। ब्रेव सोल्स फाउंडेशन का एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट इनिशिएटिव है अपना घर और जो सर्वाइवर्स यहाँ रहते हैं हम उनको बेस्ट मेडिकल केयर तो देते ही देते हैं। साथ में हर सर्वाइवर की इंग्लिश क्लासेस, कंप्यूटर क्लासेस होती हैं, साइकोलॉजिकल थेरेपी होती है।
What happened to your case? I am in acid attack survivor.
बेसिकली सर्वाइवर्स को उनके राइट्स के बारे में पता नहीं होता, उनको अवेयर करते हैं। तो हमारा इन दो चीज़ों में मेन हमारा इंटरवेंशन रहता है कि हम उनका क्रिमिनल केस देखते हैं कि उनको जस्टिस दिला सकें, उनको फेयर कॉम्पनसेशन दिला सकें। हम चाहते हैं कि ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पैन इंडिया में काम करे।
We would now like to invite on stage Shaheen Malik. Please continue with a round of applause and salute to all the work that you've been doing. Entire team.
He's so inspired, he wants to take a picture with her. No problem. Yes, ma'am. You wanted to.
थैंक यू सो मच मुझे ये ऑनर देने के लिए थैंक यू सर एंड ब्रेव सोल्स फाउंडेशन एसिड अटैक सर्वाइवर्स के लिए काम करता है. मैं खुद एक एसिड अटैक सर्वाइवर हूँ, आपने ये देखा. और हम कोशिश करते हैं कि जो सर्वाइवर्स पर बर्डन है, जैसे उनकी सर्जरीज हैं, उनका केस लड़ना है, उनको जस्टिस दिलाना है, उस सब कोशिश में हम जितने ज़्यादा एफर्ट्स कर सकें और जितने ज़्यादा सर्वाइवर्स तक पहुंच सकें वो हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं. मैं कोशिश कर रही हूं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सर्वाइवर्स की ज़िंदगी में चेंज ला सकूं, उन्हें एम्पावर कर सकूं. और इस सब जर्नी में मुझे बस एक चीज़ की ज़रूरत है, आप सब लोगों के साथ की ज़रूरत है, सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत है. आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जितना हो सके हमसे जुड़ें. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think there are many people listening and many people will step forward.
Congratulations, ma'am, and thank you for all the exceptional work that you've been doing. We now want to bring you another inspiring story, and this is the story of Qazi Khan. This comes from Rajasthan, who has been spearheading the effort to preserve centuries-old traditions of the Mangniyar folk tradition. Let's take a look at their story.
ये राजस्थान की जो धरती है, राजाओं की धरती है, तो उनके लिए हम लोग जो उनके बखान, उनके जो प्रशंसा, उनके गाने जब हम गाते हैं तो वो हम लोगों के लिए बहुत एक डिफिकल्ट गीत है. मांगनेवालों के पास जो म्यूजिक है वो बहुत बड़ा संगीत का खजाना है. ये सब चीजें उनके पास एक ओरल ट्रेडिशन है. मांगनेवाल लंगा का जो बच्चा है वो जन्म होता है तो वो अगर रोएगा ना तो एक राग में रोएगा. अगर वो बच्चा चलना चालू अगर चलेगा ना तो वो रिदम के साथ चलेगा. मांगनेवाल म्यूजिक है वो इतना रिच है. तो मेरे गांव में मैंने एक इंस्टीट्यूट बनाया, पहचान फोक म्यूजिक इंस्टीट्यूट. उसमें हमने 50 सीनियर म्यूजिशियन हमारी कम्युनिटी के लंगाजन बांगनेर बहुत कम्युनिटी के बुलाए और हमने उनसे डिस्कस किया कि भाई अपनी कितनी राग है, कितनी रागनियां हैं, कौन सी राग किस टाइम गाई जाती है. मैं कल रहूं ना रहूं, ये मेरी एक पूंजी, ये मेरी एक मेमोरी, ये मेरा संगीत मेरे आगे की 15 पीढ़ी तक पहुंचेगा.
Could we request Ghazi Khan to please come on stage, please? Congratulations to the entire team. Let's move on. The next story is about Varun Ravindra from Bengaluru and Vanantara. This is an initiative to turn barren lands into thriving ecosystems. Let's take a look at their story.
In the early 2000s, there was a lot of dialogue about global warming and climate change. I knew that I wanted to be actively part of the solution. Our work at Vanantara involves planting and nurturing these young saplings and providing them with the right conditions to grow. When we began work at Vanantara, the land was barren. Early on, it was a struggle to just keep the plants alive in a space that was really not conducive to their survival. Over the years, we've seen bugs and bees and butterflies and birds come and inhabit our space. And it is quite obvious that the circle of life is starting to play out at Vanantara. We found that by providing the right diversity of plants, by nurturing the soil with regular composting and mulching, and by providing timely irrigation to these young saplings through an elaborate drip irrigation network, we've managed to find ourselves where we are today.
story of Vanantara. Please welcome on stage Varun Ravindra. Many congratulations to you and to your entire team. We now bring you another inspirational story, and this time around it's of Swatalim, started by Ananya Tiwari and Vaibhav Kumar, that is helping underrepresented adolescent girls in rural India to gain access to educational opportunities. Let's take a look at their story.
We came to know about areas where literacy rate is as low as 36%. So what we essentially do is we involve government stakeholders, teachers, principals, girls themselves and local women leaders to form a village. कोविड के समय जब सभी schools बंद हो गए, it became much more difficult for girls who were back at their home. So we thought like what we will do is we will use interactive voice response system for our work.
प्रिय अभिभावक, मैं हूँ मित्वा कस्तूरबा गांधी बालिका विद्यालय से.
We started setting up 14 to 15 tablets in every school, जिसमें बच्चियाँ हॉस्टल के टाइम पे इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरीज सुन सकती हैं, देख सकती हैं. स्वतालीम का जो सपना है वो है कि हम जेंडर इक्वल वर्ल्ड क्रिएट कर पाएं एजुकेशन के माध्यम से.
Congratulations to the entire team. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Vaibhav Kumar. Could we have you on stage, please? Congratulations to the entire team. Our next story is of Vimukti Sanstha. This is a school for marginalized girls around Jaipur, and this is being started by Lovelina Sogani. Let's take a look at their story.
The young girls who were in the slums, they were absolutely uneducated, cooking in the house or doing menial jobs with their parents. And I felt that this gender discrimination is what we have to address, which would definitely be through the power of education. Vimukti is a passionate organization which believes that the community cannot move ahead if half its population, especially the young women, are uneducated. There's a lot of activity and teaching which is done through a playway method. We just don't educate a child and let her go. We handhold the child till she is able to be financially independent. In a year or two, we would like to replicate Vimukti in another part of Jaipur, and hopefully we are able to replicate many more Vimuktis in India too.
What a lovely story. I'm requesting Lovelina Sogani to please join us on stage. Congratulations, ma'am, to you and to your entire team. Congratulations, ma'am, once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the last story, and that is from the city that is hosting this event today, Amchi, Mumbai. Babita from Mumbai and her initiative, Bano Kabil, is empowering lesser privileged women. Let's take a look at their story.
I have always been interested in art and craft. My house help started taking keen interest in what I was doing. So I taught her some of the few small knots, simple knots, and gave her some pieces to finish. So she used to take it home and do the work. Hence we started the project, an initiative of Bano Kabil. It is for the women, by the women, with the women. We have a range of home decor products. We have macrame, wall hangings, plant hangers. Working in Bano Kabil, it boosted their confidence. They started taking important decisions even at house level. Right now we are a very small unit, but we have taken up a new place where we are going to set up a proper workshop.
Please, let's welcome her with a huge round of applause. Please come, sir. Mr. Sanjay Agarwal. I'll request all our distinguished guests also to stay on stage with us, because with that we've come to an end as far as the awards are concerned. A huge round of applause for all our change makers. I would now like to take this opportunity to invite all our change makers back on stage for a photo opportunity with all our distinguished guests. I would also like to take this opportunity to invite on stage Mr. Kamlesh Mase. He is the Independent Director at AU Small Finance Bank. Sir, we would request you to also join us on stage with all our change makers for one last photo opportunity. Requesting all our change makers to join us on stage, please. I would also request our audience to stay where they are, because we have a very special performance coming up. We're not done yet. So we'll request you to stay to your seats, please. A very special performance coming just in a little bit. Thank you to all our change makers. Thank you to all our distinguished guests. It has been an honor and a privilege to have all of you with us. But as I said, please do not leave the hall, because we have a very special performance coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, the stories that we witnessed this evening serve as a reminder to us about the inherent goodness that resides in each one of us. And each of these change makers have shown us that the onus to make